Hey everyone, let's grab the guys, shall we? Let me just grab the link as per usual for the crew. There it is. Okay. Beautiful. G'day,
How's it
g'day.
going?
Hey, mate.
How are you?
Howdy doody.
Howdy, howdy. Thanks for joining us, Wonder.
That's all right. Another new voice for you.
Mate, I'm not joking when I say it. I fucking love it. Like, I love it. The amount of new people that have jumped in, like, it breathes new life into the show, to be honest with you, just to have new people, like a new wave of voices and characters on the show. You know,
Are you recording now, or
I am. Sorry, I am. Well, we're
Chief
on.
makes
It's
the fact
recorded
that you're
anyway.
burning through them.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Just we can really ham it up for you if you want me to go to go crazy.
Oh no, you don't. Just be yourself, mate. It's all good. You don't have to ham it up too much. I'll get ubiquitous in here. Oh my god, Tim, are you fucking serious? How late is it? Are you still up? I guess you're on the West Coast, so it's not tragically late. Let me think. What time is it in LA right now? It's got to be
It's
2 a.m.
It's disgustingly late. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
It's-
It's
Game hours.
disgustingly late.
Name hours.
You must be out getting supply crates.
Oh, shit.
It's good.
Oh my god! Oh well, thank you for being here, Tim. Watts, mate, you're more than welcome to join as well, but you might be busy given it's the early morning for you. As I crack my first, let's look. I'll tee us off now. Let me do this. Hang on. All right, so I was enjoying, my restful afternoon after a long, hard day of podcasting and talking Season of Discovery. Haven't played the fucking game today because I've been so busy sort of doing the content thing. But I was about to settle down and enjoy the game tonight when I got a message from our friend Balls of Steel, who was like, "Josh, we got to do an Australian friendly podcast at Aussie hours."
That was Jay, actually.
Well, you were in on it as well. Oh, you were in on the cheerleading for it. Which,
Fair enough.
look, I'd bitch, but I mean, I don't really care. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't fucking a keen, participant. So we thought, fuck it, let's just have a beer and maybe attack a bit more onto the conversation that we had earlier today. And obviously it's on me to try and get this group of ragtag Aussies and Americans talking
The token American.
the token American who we've adopted since he moved to Australia. But it's on me to get you guys talking about different shit to what we covered today. I don't want to just double up. As much as we can, I want to try and traverse new ground. So let's do that. We've all got a beer, fucking ubiquitous. You've hit a few free rumbos at the bottle shop with the free samples. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm coming in spicy like the rum that I sampled.
I like it. What was it? Was it a good one or what?
It was like legitimate, like small time brewery from like the Blue Mountains that are just trying to branch out. Like a couple of marketers in the local bottle shop
Fucking
trying to sling their rum.
Blue Mountains rocket fuel.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was nice. It was nice.
I love it. Did you do? We had this moment with the guy handing out free samples of Ferrero Rocher at Coles the other day, where we were like, "Oh, what's this product called? Oh, Ferrero Rocher." You say, "Never heard of it. I better try one." And then you do the power move where you go, "Oh, that's delicious. We'll definitely consider buying some," and then walk out without getting any. And I felt like a piece of shit for doing that. But yeah, it's tough at the bottle-o when you've got these local brewers trying their hardest. More often than not, I will buy the product they've given me the free sample of because I do feel bad if I walk out without a bottle of it.
To be fair, I wasn't that sold on getting any of it, but my mum's loves a cocktail, and they gave me a pamphlet saying, "Look, we can make pina colada rums. It's nice, whatever." I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll get mum a bottle." But then they hit me with this pre-made. It's essentially pre-made old-fashioned, like an old-fashioned whiskey,
Yeah.
but it's an old-fashioned rum, and it's like whatever it is, 31% pre-made in a full, just pour it out bottle, pour yourself a shot, and it was fucking remarkable. And I'm usually the guy that just palms off anyone trying to sell me anything. I've come home with a bottle.
Oh, good
It
on
was that
you.
good.
Good
So
on you.
It was good.
All
I'm
right.
glad I went in there.
Well, there you are, drink in hand. I've got my Mountain Culture Status Quo Pale Ale in hand. Hunk, are you equipped with the beverage?
Mate, I have a going with the liqueur coffee at the moment.
Oh, what, the Kahlua?
I'm a fancy boy tonight. What can I say?
Mate, you know, Kahlua on the rocks is one of my favourite drinks, so that gets the thumbs up from me. Wonder, have you got a drink in hand, my friend?
Only the waters,
Oh,
unfortunately.
look, that's all right. You can share them with Mike. Mike's a waterman as well. That's all good. We need a couple of sober people to reign ubiquitous in anyway, so it'll be all
Yeah,
good.
we need some RSA marshals around the pub.
Absolutely.
Who's going to drive the rest of us home?
Oh, fucking
hey,
Mike
I'll
can
always be
drive.
the
Mike can do
DD.
it. Yeah, he can do that. He's got experience. That's all right. Look, guys, let's get stuck into it. And I'll just say, like, obviously, Wonder, like I was saying before off the recording, like, thanks so much for putting your hand up for this. It's been so refreshing getting all these new people involved in the show over the last couple of months. And I think it's really a testament to the pulling power of Season of Discovery as opposed to the pulling power of Hunk, which is a different conversation altogether. But the traction that Season of Discovery has got has dragged so many people back into the game. And, you know, you're one of the people that's been listening to Countdown lately and been maybe listening to the show for a long time, but now looking to get involved because you fired up about SOD, which is fantastic. So thanks for being here, mate.
No, all good. It certainly got my juices flowing, knowing that the class I love to play might do some damage.
So you're boomy or what?
Yeah, but nothing has changed thus far, and the anger is palpable.
Well, let's start in on that. And guys, I am going to try and keep this one a bit more casual, given we are all just, you know, fucking around and having a drink and whatnot. And I've already podcasted earlier today, so I'm only going to have so much energy. But, mate, I haven't touched Boom. You know, I've played a Druid to 12, but I've not really, you know, obviously experienced anything at 25 and whatnot. But I've seen the comments from people saying, "Oh my God, Boomkin, it's not the dream. We're in the same position." Now, again, huge grain of salt. It's only level 25. There's many more phases to come. But it is a bit like upsetting to hear that, you know, you guys aren't slapping as much as you thought it might be. Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, I kind of feel that if you were to look at Classic and performance, you'd rightly identify a few classes that had struggled, namely Shadow Priest, Ret Pally, Boomy. And you could throw in Ellie Shaman, Enhancement Shaman DPS as well. All of those classes are still struggling. And I don't know, like I look at the runes and I think, okay, we've addressed potential mana issues. Shadow Priests get the opportunity to dot. A lot of people say wait for level 40, but you know the fantasy of rogue tanking or warlock tanking is coming out now in that 25 bracket. I'd like to see Boomkins not be rejected to going to a BFD raid because they don't do enough DPS. You know, in the first week.
Have any of you other guys dabbled with Druid at all to this stage? I don't think you have you?
Played it myself.
You have?
You mean? No, yeah. Like I haven't played it at all. I've seen them though.
Yeah. What's your observation of them in the raid then, Ubiquitous?
Feral is insane. I haven't seen anyone dare to play Boomy though.
Yeah.
But Feral is quite competent or competitive, whatever you want to pick. But yeah, I haven't seen anyone come in a raid saying I want to press Wrath for the next hour and a half, and yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't even seen anyone try to. So it's a hard Pokemon to catch, really.
Feral's a fucking cunts in PvP as well. I fucking can't stand them.
Have you had the scenario where they're in cat form using that like sunfire?
Oh
and
yeah,
they
I've
just
had the
pass it on
pleasure,
you
my
over and over?
friends. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's so much fun. It made me just leave the zone once.
Yeah, I've not run into it a lot, but definitely I've had the kitty druids loving their cat form. You know, their fucking whatever physical abilities they're using, plus just running away and pumping the sunfires. It fucking hits hard, and oh my god, Mike, sorry, you're gonna say something?
I would say at least the druids now get to press wrath the entire time rather than having no mana the whole time.
Yeah, I must admit. So just in the 3 seconds I spent with Druid and getting one to level 12, it's a really interesting mix what they've done with the whatever it's called, Furious Storm Rage or whatever rune that gives you the free wrath, because like we say, they've obviously made the world more dangerous, and mobs are still hitting reasonably hard, and you can't just pull the whole world. Everyone's saying it still feels like classic. That's great. I think they've done a really interesting push and pull with Fury of Storm Rage, where okay, you've got infinite mana if you're just casting this one ability, but like the mob just runs up to you. Obviously this is part of the intention. The mob just runs up to you and starts slapping you in the face, and now your 1.5 second cast or whatever of wrath are now 2.5 second casts because of pushback. So you've got that give and take there, where the mob's still going to slap.
And it does very little damage.
Yeah, and the mob's still going to slap you a fair bit. Your wrath isn't like belting them, so your efficiency is great in that you've got no downtime, but you still have to fucking have you have to be paying attention or you'll get killed.
Yeah, and you'll end up just blowing your mana bar on healing yourself instead.
Well, that's the interesting part for me, is like one Sunfire, one of those instant heal procs, and 2/3 of my mana are gone.
Yeah.
Granted, that's without any gear.
I did a BFD this afternoon, and I think it might just be across the board at the moment that like the mana users just can't get deep enough into their trees to even like access their mana in combat talents or whatever bullshit it is. Because like after today, if you were a tryhard in BFD and you were just like, no, I want a 7 of 7, you'd honestly just take like the biggest melee comp you could, because the casters, priest or other like healers or otherwise, were just going like Kelrus, whatever the caster one is with the portals.
Yeah.
We had to tell our casters literally do nothing for phase 1, because phase 2 is the DPS check. Just save your mana bar for that. We'll carry you to phase 2. And that's, I can't imagine it's fun for them. Mind you, one of them was a fresh, like relatively fresh 25, hit 25 yesterday, but the fact that that's a consideration in a PvE environment, and it seems to be a reoccurring thing, like other than warlocks who can life tap, but that does sap the healers who are struggling for mana themselves. So it's just a bit of a mana fuck around at the moment. And I think it's just because they can't get enough raw spirit. There's no MP5 gear and there's no talents. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, mana users are sucking it at the moment.
Fair enough. Hey, Dracuz, how are you, mate? Thanks for joining us. You there, brother? Your mic might be on mute. There you go. No love. That's all right. Mate, play around with your mic and I'll throw it back to you in a second. Hunk, it's interesting.
Sort your shit out. Sorry, what was that? Sorry, bro.
Hunk, it's interesting to hear the gripes of the boomkin still being a thing, because you're playing the other class that we haven't heard from yet, Priest, and I'd love to get your early thoughts on it, because look, not that I personally really give a fuck. I'm not a big min-max guy. I'm not a big raid guy, so I don't care. But the show covers it. The show somewhat cares. The Shadow Priest, that graphic went out early of the raid DPS that people were seeing in BFD early on after the first few days. And Shadow Priest just fucking all the way down the bottom. I think I sent it to you. How's it felt?
Well, I'm not really playing the Shadow Priest or the Priest DPS. But I don't know why people expected this to be like a refined and like perfectly like balanced experience at level 25. I know the classic, the way we're all going to play the game will be that kind of like min-maxing and it will be a case like some classes are going to struggle a bit to find raid spots, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I think this first phase, a season of discovery at like the low level, as Ubiquitous was discussing, the mana problems on certain fights, it's just going to be reality. I think it'll be probably be better next phase when a lot more talents come online. Mana pools are a lot larger with a lot more gear, a lot more intellect and spirit. Like, I just I don't know, without like fundamental, like radically changing the way the game is at this level, there's not a lot that can be done. Like, if you want to create a meaningful raid fight, you've got to make it. You can't just make it over in 15 seconds, right? But unfortunately, all the mana classes, and this is actually including healers, are designed around, like, well, not designed, but like operate around like fights that are sort of like 15 to 30 seconds long, and then they're just done. They just burn through their mana in 30 seconds, and without like massive like gearing like and stat changes, that's not really gonna, not really gonna change. And if you do that, how's it going to look when like the level 25 gear that we're getting now is better than level 30, 40, level 50 even greens that drop in the world or come from quests? Like, it's going to feel pretty bad when we're out questing, and everything you get up until like even from not just the next phase, but the phase after that is going to be like a downgrade to what we're getting in BFD. Like, that's the level of like the gearing change you'd need to make mana classes feel good in this current raid. So yeah, that's just where we're at. I don't know why people didn't expect this to be the case. I didn't really see an easy way to fix it.
Fair enough. I feel like it's great. It's feel like when Dad tells you he's disappointed in you. From that is what I took from that speech. That was a right pretty speech, sir.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to make a speech. I've been in the sun all day. Okay, my brain's cooked. No idea what's happening. What did I say? What did I say?
Where am I?
Out there for a minute. I blacked out for a minute.
Yeah, you're doing the fucking what's the Zoolander moment where he's like, where am I? Where am I?
Where am I? Where am I?
I've been blacked out since 8 a.m. Friday, mate. It's just a sod haze here.
Hey Dracuz, how's your mic now, mate? No good. That's all right. We'll get there. Hey, Mike, I said we'd cover new ground in this conversation, and we will, but I feel like it's a bit unfair if I don't give you time to get off your chest the talking point that's kind of been your baby for the last couple of days, which is the rogue tanking rune and how it was implemented into the game. Look, we had a lot to say about it today in the earlier call that people will hear, leading off the bat in this podcast. But, I know you're listening to a bit of that. Is there anything that you felt didn't get said, or, whether we had complaint corner at the last 10 minutes of that podcast? Is it okay if we maybe let you get something off your chest now about that?
I don't really have that much to get off my chest about it, other than just like, I just wish it was, considering it's like a whole new way to play the class. We've got an entirely new role. I just would have thought acquiring the rune would have been more flavorful, more impactful, more enjoyable. The last
right.
one's a little subjective, but I like, it still could have been hard. Like, I just wanted to be a more engaging way to acquire the rune for my new role, was really the only gripe I really had.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I think that's I understand where you're coming from, where I mean, fuck, I don't want to... You tell me if I'm summing up your feelings correctly or not on this one, where you were kind of like, it wasn't necessarily the time that was an issue for you with the rep grind, but it just didn't feel sort of epic or cool enough, which is basically what you just said, yeah?
Yeah, that's really it. Like, if any rogue here that has done the deadly the quest chain for the deadly brew rune, that one was amazing and flavorful, and you felt like you were a rogue. It was one of the coolest quests I've ever done in WoW. It was fucking Mission Impossible rogue style.
It was very flavorful.
And I don't know how they made such a cool quest like that, but then and Deadly Brew is a really good rune, don't get me wrong, so I think it deserved to have a quest like that. but then another rune that completely changes the way you play the class. Just grind some rep. Just play taxi service.
My boy here is being too fucking tame, alright? We could have gotten like a Ravenholt Jedi-esque learn the ways of deflection because you're going to parry and dodge every fucking thing that comes in your direction. They could have gone down that path. That's what could have been there. That's what we missed out on in my eyes and Mike's eyes, but he's just being more chill than me about it. Like that would have been such an awesome fucking storyline to go through, especially because we literally have a rogue faction in the fucking game in a zone that we already go to. We go to Hillsbrad for many things. It could have been 2 quests long, and I'm telling you, the rogue Discord would have been popping off about it going, how fucking mad was that? We're Neo from the fucking Matrix. We can see ahead of time. We're parrying everything Patchwork throws our way, and we're just parry kings. That would have been 10 times cooler than go farm these 2 reps and pay this guy some gold, and you can tank things.
And also end up costing me like 100 gold for 2 runes just so I can play the role I want to play.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Sorry to come in hot.
No, that's all right.
In like response to that, would you expect all of the fun, flavorful quests to take place at level 25, or would you also want some of those fun, flavorful quests to pop up as you go through the other phases as well?
It's fair. It's fair. What if they've got this shit up their sleeves?
Yeah, I'm assuming that rogue tanks will be given a rune or a rune option in each of their gear slots. In the same way that there's always a healing rune for healers, there's always a DPS rune for the same class, and a tank rune, for druids or paladins. I would assume rogues are going to get the same thing. So you may still get that feeling.
I think me and Mike are going to swing for the same nail here, so I'll let him go first.
Why? But like, this is us becoming a new class. Why would you hold back the epic thing for like? Why hold back the Rocky montage just for something else as a part of the class when it's literally the rune to make us a new role for the class?
Yeah, this is the tank rune. Like, it's the one that gives you more threat, makes you take less damage, and makes you uncrittable, if I remember off the top of my head. Like, this is the rune that gets that storyline. Like, what are they going to give me down the line? They're going to give me a quest chain that makes evasion a 30-second cooldown or some shit. Like, all right, I'm going to enjoy that when it comes. But, like, this was the rune. It was the metamorphosis of rogue tanking.
That's the dodgeball quest that they've got lined up for you later on, where you just have to move around and avoid a bunch of balls for a minute.
Yeah, like the Fire Festival catch the torch shit. We'll go just dodge balls in Ravenhold for a minute.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I think if they had just switched Deadly Brew and the tank rune, I would have had a less gripe of it. Because Deadly Brews just make your poisons better. Like, just the flesh rune is literally the tank rune. It's a whole new role.
How I didn't ask you this earlier, guys. Mike, I don't think you've done much of this, so it might be more for me ubiquitous. But how's Rogue PvP felt so far?
It was one of my gripes with Ashenvale to begin with, because I'll just describe my very first engagement with this was literally standing in stealth on a little cliff to the side, and we just watched 30 hunters shoot 30 hunters. And that was it. Like, we just spectated guys shooting each other, getting healed for half an hour. As a rogue, you're so garbage. Like, in Atherak Valley, we're powerful because you can single-handedly defend a bunker. Because you can sap a guy, blind a guy, kill one, fuck around with them long enough that there's 40 seconds till it burns, you can get something achieved. What do we do in Ashenvale? Like, I can kill people on the street, which is fun, but it doesn't get me anything, or at least it didn't until this week. Now that I'm in the zone, I might get something, but you still have to be partaking in the PvE aspect. That's the only thing that's a little disappointing. Like, I'm literally in an Ashenvale battle right now, and I'm just following everyone around, kind of like a PvE event.
Yeah.
Would I rather be on the street murdering the gnome that strayed too far from the pack? 100%. But that doesn't get me more rep than just following the horde and zug-zugging some lieutenants down. So
I know what you mean, because I only relatively recently, tried a few Warsong Gulches on a level 60 rogue when they did the PTR a few months ago. And, even in Warsong, just like I said, everyone knows who's played rogue. As soon as you fight in the pack, you're fucking cooked. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be picking people off on the side or you're no good.
In Warsong, you're in all the battlegrounds, we're actually extremely powerful in that you're a great flag room defender in like a pre-made, like you're actually somewhat organized. Arathi Basin, like leave one rogue at Goldmine. You can say there's 3 guys coming and you can hold them up for like 2 whole fucking minutes just being a pest and not dying. That's great. Outerac Valley, you've got bunkers. In Ashenvale, I can go stand at one of my lieutenant's camps. I can't defend it against 50 Alliance. So we're kind of a bit weak in that regard, and it's just that's a little disappointing, but it's 100% what I expected. I didn't think that there would be like I'll defend this base against 5 Alliance on my own or anything. So yeah, not surprised, but it's just rogue life. Like,
fair enough.
I mean, it's any melee life. You've played warrior. It's pretty shit. Like, you're just standing there. If you charge the Alliance, you're dead immediately. So
it's a weird life. I'm still getting used to it. Hunk, mate, just to bring you to a conversation that we had in the first couple of days of, following launch, a lot of people are asking, I've put up the very clickbaity thumbnail for this one about, is Season of Discovery good? And that's kind of where I want to get this conversation going towards, of just how you guys are feeling about it, just in what you've experienced in this first week. And you were raving about Penance as you rolled a priest day one, and you're just loving Penance, gushing over it. And I guess the question is, like, same question we asked the guys on the last call is, does it still feel classic even with Penance? Are you still like getting that classic vibe out of it?
100%. Like, okay, like I know, like, look, the rogues are a little bit sooky. Everyone expected that. They're rogues. That's their whole thing. The whole shtick. Hysterical malcontents, some might even call them. Is that fair, Mike?
I think it's fair.
No.
I think it's fair.
Can't bait. Can't even bait Mike on that. These
Sorry,
two.
sorry, what? I didn't even get the joke.
Never mind. I
Trust
only
me,
received on my chin.
Believe me, it was funny. It's all good.
And look, like the balanced druids, I mean, you could make all their spells cost no mana and have no spell pushback. They could have Wrath could be hitting for 5,000 damage. They would still be whinging about how balance sucks. That's just how they are.
The balance.
Again,
can I?
Miners sucks.
Because he's here, and I know a few of regular listeners who we love play balanced druids as well. I'll say this: the balanced druids are the what is it from Arrested Development? The League of Magicians or whatever. We demand to be taken seriously. Or whatever.
They are. Yeah. That's it. That's them exactly. Like, and they know they are. Don't they?
I mean, you're not.
Don't they wonder? No one's taking your bait. No one's taking your bait today, Hunk.
That the views I'm expressing right now are those of Countdown to Classic. The official views of Countdown to Classic.
Fair enough.
Look, I love what they've done with Season Discovery. I'm having so much fun. Like all the little like nooks and crannies. I really like the priest mechanic. I like the way the prayers are, like, the way the buffs are shared. You share them between each other, like, and like, yeah, like, as far as priest goes, I don't really have any complaints substantive complaints. I'm having a great time. Like, I know, there's probably a few things that could be refined here and there, and like, as Mike said, like, like you can go from like one quite meaningful quest that has some good RP and things to like another that's just a turn in. I guess that could have just been a bit of a resourcing thing. Like, it's not a big team. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see that fucking photo of them all at lunch today? There's fucking thousands of them.
Dude,
whoa, they're
I
at
was
lunch.
I was dying at your joke, Sean.
I thought it was a very good joke too. Thank you,
was.
Mike. It didn't get as much love as I thought it deserved on Twitter.
Who discovered the check? I was dying when I saw it, especially because it's fucking California. That bill must have costed like thousands of dollars.
That lunch, yeah. Even just I'm going to take the team to a pizza lunch at fucking whatever restaurant. Like, yeah, it wouldn't be cheap.
Domino's.
Yeah, it wouldn't be cheap.
I saw that post, and it was one of those things like it could have been pizzas in the fucking lunchroom, and I feel like that lunch would have gone down well with them, with how well received this season and how much it's just been taken by storm. That would have been a fucking fun lunch to be at as an employee.
I'm glad. Sure. I'm really glad you said that, Ubiquitous, because I was thinking something similar. Let's fucking talk about it for a second. And look, mate, you were in the last call. You were in and out of the last call, Ubiquitous, where I was praising the team a lot. And I said at one point, like, look, this launch week has been a fucking victory for them. Like, this is a huge financial win for Blizzard. It's a huge marketing win for Blizzard. This game has gotten more positive fucking hype in the first week than more than many of their more recent releases. And I'm not just talking about World of Warcraft. You know what I mean?
Certainly better than Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Yeah. So I sort of thought about that photo. I thought that photo was actually a really oddly deep photo. And like, I was like, these 30 odd people or whatever on the classic team, 25 to 30 people on the classic team in the photo, like how fucking high must they be riding right now? Like they're obviously having the time of their you've felt it since BlizzCon. They're having the fucking time of their lives because I think they're almost like they back their work, but they're still a little bit shocked at how good the reception has been, and everyone's got their backs, and like, you know, they're really, their Q score is higher than it's ever been, and they must have just been sitting there chatting to each other going, can you fucking believe how good this is all going right now? Like, my intonation was very weird. How good this is going right now? Like, they must just be besides themselves.
Yeah, I was gonna, like, for the average worker, I mean, you've got your job satisfaction. Theirs must be through the roof in this exact example. Like, I can't even really imagine a different industry or that kind of bullshit. But like, it must be a fun week to go into the office and just fucking coffees and high fives every morning is what I'm picturing is going on at Blizzard HQ, and rightfully deserved because they have delivered a pretty good product for us to play.
Yeah.
It's so easy for an organization to lose trust with their consumers, and I would say that Blizzard's probably been in a position where people just have not trusted them for a while. And when you see people like Agrand and Tim actively responding to people on Twitter, on Reddit about concerns in a pretty timely manner, like I think fixing, say, the Warlock issue, the Tancred issue in under a week is good. Is good. And that's just going to breed positivity from the community, and they'll generate goodwill if they continue to not just pump out a good product, but continue to communicate with everyone.
Well, I said something, well, I didn't say it. I was thinking something earlier. I'll say it out loud now. I didn't say this in the earlier pod about the activity on the team's behalf in relation to getting on top of changes and just being responsive to the game in general this first week, you know, in such a dramatic fashion that, you know, how good they've been. But like, I really feel the need as someone who's, you know, covered the game, like I say, semi-professionally for the last 6 years. And, you know, you guys have all played the game, you know, for the last 4 years since 2019 and whatever. Like, we remember, it was a while ago, but not that fucking long ago. We remember the vibe around the classic team 4 years ago. Now, it's basically the same people, I've no doubt, but it's fucking night and day between the communication policy with what we're getting now and what we got in 2019 and 2020. And this is not meant as, like, I'm not throwing shade at anyone. This is not like, oh, you know, fucking the dark old days and the bright new days or anything like that. But blatantly things have changed. And I screamed on the podcast for like from 2019 to 2021. I remember going on some pretty fucking profanity-laced, very loud rants about Blizzard or, you know, the classic team electing to sit in silence and not jump in the mud and have fun with us. You know, get in the pool, the water's warm, come play with your players, muck around with us, talk to us, get involved with creators, all of that shit. I really loudly bitched about it for a long time, saying you've taken the wrong option by doing the stoic silence thing. You create a really bad impression to your players that you just, you know, this game is kind of a headache to you. You're just managing it as opposed to developing it. And I called for more, you know, communication, and not just communication, like, you know, actually sounding like us, and you guys know what I'm trying to say. But basically,
Yep.
they've done all that. It started in TBC. It started slowly. It started to ramp up towards, you know, then we got to Wrath. It was blatantly, you know, something had changed where the blue posts were really quite chunky and considerable. The language changed. Agrend, basically, even though he's always been on the classic team, Agrend effectively came online 18 months ago. And a lot of things started to change. The feel and tone changed. And now with SOD, they've really taken the fucking, you know, bridle or whatever off the horse. And they are just running free. And look at all the fucking brownie points these people are cleaning up right now just because they decided to be gamers. And I'm like, I'm so happy for them, and I'm so glad this is a thing now. And I'm trying not to do the like, I fucking was yelling at you 3 years ago to do this. And now
I wonder
look
how
at
much of it is because of the Microsoft takeover.
We've talked about it before, like how it really feels like they're actually kind of part of the community now instead of just like a part of it. They are part of it.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they're in the ivory tower anymore.
The best thing they did
buys them so much goodwill too. Like, you know, if things go wrong or there's some like balance issues, like we know that they're kind of like they're there with us, right? They're doing the best they can. They're not just
I think I don't know if it took them a while to realize, or whether there were rules in place, just because like it's high risk to engage with the customer base from their position and such. But like, for example, you've got 5 guys at 9:33 Sydney time on a Friday night, right after dinner, in a Discord, recording like a podcast, talking about a game, and it's only because like we're interested in the betterment of the game, always, without being a bunch of cunts about it and all that kind of stuff. We might be, and like the people that engage in this Discord and like I always refer back to the Rogue Discord. It must be there's probably 0.5% of Rogue players are the guys that message in there every single day, because like we're just checking for bugs, making sure the class is playing right. You know, the guys that are in there every day aren't bitching and whinging, just having a sook about the class as a whole. It's just about the game. Like, does the game play right? Does it play how it should? Is anything funny going on? And like, anyone that would be reaching out to a dev is probably in that same pool. Like, the guys that just scream their head off in the back alley, not directly at them, probably aren't trying to come up with anything constructive or trying to be helpful. I guess that's the one thing. Like, I feel like when we're in here talking about this stuff, in a weird way, we're just trying to be helpful. Like, just talk about it,
of course,
voice things out, and that's it. Like, it's not a bad thing. And I think, in a funny way, I saw someone was bashing how Agrend just tweets out like, oh, you know, this stuff's happening. In my mind, I love to think that he's just on his phone in front of the microwave at Blizzard HQ. He's heating up yesterday's spag bowl, and he's going, haha, just fixed Ashenvale, feeling cute today, XX on Twitter. And like, if you follow the fucking game, you know what he's tweeting and you get the news anyway. It doesn't have to be a blue post on the forums. Like, it trickles down, and I like seeing it. Like, I've done it in your Discord a few times now. You quickly snip the post, share it in the Discord. Everyone talks about it. The news spreads regardless. But in my mind, I just find it funny thinking that he's just tweeting from the lunchroom. Like, I fixed what you're fucking bitching about. Chill out.
I agree, but like I think I caught him say something today or yesterday on that, on his tweeting about the game and how furiously and how frequently he's been tweeting about Season of Discovery the first week. And it's weird that Agren's Twitter feed, it's not weird, it's a thing that Agren's Twitter feed has, funnily enough, become like the place to go for like up-to-date SOD updates. You know what I fucking mean. It's the place to be, right, if you want the news. And so he said something about, look, guys, I'm getting a lot of traction here on Twitter as all of you guys are playing SOD and loving it, and now all of a sudden paying attention to the dev updates I'm giving you via my Twitter account. But, I think he said something along the lines of like, I'm just shooting from the hip here. It's fucking Twitter. Like, I'm like you say, ubiquitous. Like, fuck, for all we know, he's taking a dump and just firing out a tweet while he's got fucking 33 seconds. You know what I mean? And he sort of said, don't necessarily go by every character and every word of these tweets being the gospel. I'm just trying to keep you up to date as best I can. And they're not formal blue post, double checked and triple checked, by all the fucking media people before they go out. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that, and I'm more than okay with it. I almost prefer it because, again, it's really smart to do that. I'm going to go and swim in the same channels as the players and be a bit more informal. And, it doesn't matter if you get something wrong. If weird nerds want to get fucking really bent out of shape because Agren said one word wrong in a tweet that he fired from the hip, that's their fucking problem. The majority of people don't give a shit. They enjoy just being in the loop and being able to see this stuff. And again, it's just more and more smart decisions of like, we're just players like you. We're just fucking around like you. And yeah, we've got like professional responsibilities, but we want to have fun too. And it's working out.
Yeah, it's like it's a pretty clever comms plan. I mean, because they're still using, like with, I guess, how Agren's Twitter's kind of using, it's still like kind of like a central, or like that single repository for that sort of information, right? Like, because I know, like, you've got like I know Tim does so much work, like just sitting in all the like the streams and the podcasts and monitoring, like, I guess the like the what would you say it, the mood of the community and where it's going. And that's sort of like a big team effort. But then like the information as it comes out tends to come from Agren, so you've still got like that comms plan still has that like one source of truth, I guess, if that makes sense.
Well, I think, like, to talk about Tim for a second, and I know he's fucking sitting here listening, so he's there in the crowd.
I shouldn't have said anything nice. You're a cunt.
But no, and I know people are going to be like, oh, Josh is going to say something fucking nice because he's sitting there. But I'm also on the point that, like, you're right, Hunk, to point out that Tim has been very, very active in, not only tuning into this show, but just, digesting all the content he can right now. And he's been really, really active in that regard. But I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, over the last few days. And for this team, and it's not just Tim, and Tim was the first person to say that he's not the fucking only person who works on this game. Stop, making it sound like he is. The whole team must... We talked about that lunch moment again and that photo that keeps sort of, popping up in my mind and the kind of conversation that went around the Classic team in the last 24 hours as they celebrated. But they're not just the custodians of a game anymore. Like, when I said that before, I meant that, the management, the babysitting title has been thrown aside. And yet, granted, they've built a new model of a game, a new season of a game off of the blood, sweat, and tears of many developers 20 years ago. They didn't build the found. Well, some of them might have. There's obviously a couple of people who have been on the team for fucking 20 years, but most of them didn't build the foundation of this game. They're going off of the company's work and off of the work of people many years ago, but they themselves have built new additions to it, that might make up an extra 10 to 20% of whatever it might be of what we get in Season of Discovery. And all of a sudden, the complexion of their work has completely changed, where they can now draw, not that they weren't proud before, but they can draw a much greater sense of pride off of you know, I want to say this without sounding insensitive to the work that the team has done prior to Season of Discovery, and I hope that the team understands what I'm saying when I say this, but, you know, they can look at Season of Discovery and really kind of for the first time say, I made this. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is their fucking design work. This is their fucking brainstorm. This is their brainstorming sessions. This is their fucking hits and misses. They will wear the criticism, not the guys from 20 years ago. They will wear the successes. So Tim, when I see him sort of sitting in on every fucking minute of all these podcasts, I get it, because this is now, you know, the baby of the 25 people on that fucking classic team. And can you imagine being in his shoes and how fucking invested you'd be in the feedback right now?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's a small team, right? So for like a game with this many players, and I mean, I think they deserve sort of all the kudos they're getting for what they've done here, and a lot of that is that level of that attention that they've applied to the game. Not just now, it is like they would be drawing from the experience of those people who've been there for over 20 years. But yeah.
So we're going to have to start saying, so jump in. I'm just going to say, we're going to have to start saying bad things about them soon to balance all this out. But yeah, sorry, who was going to jump in?
I was going to say, I wonder if the continual goodwill that they've been building up with their improved communication over that last, 18-month period, plays into the fact that the players are prepared or willing to buy into their idea, their vision of Season of Discovery. And you may contrast that with, say, the lack of enthusiasm that there is around Cata. I wonder if the flavorful touch being reinforced on community social engagement that comes with Classic, and them trying to not necessarily double down, but reinforce that with some of the activities that they've already put together with the rune system. It's not the same as what Cata is. Cata continues to push away from that social aspect, in my opinion, particularly with, and I guess this would be a point that many people would disagree with me. I don't like 10-man raids because to me you're becoming antisocial within the community. Okay, maybe more social with a smaller knit of people, but gives you less reasons to communicate with others. And with the ability to just shift into all raids being equal and 10 men's is 25 men or whatever it is in Cata. I kind of hope that those additional raids that they keep adding aren't all just 10-man raids like BFD.
Oh, I'll say the interesting on the Cata thing. Sorry, this has gotten a lot more. I always do this. I say, mate, we'll just have a casual fucking beer, and then I get all podcasty on you guys. I'm so sorry, but on the Cata thing, I'm a bit split on that one because, like, I agree that the Cata reception has fallen even flatter than I was expecting, but it's so hard to really have the barometer out on that one because of Season of Discovery. Like, I think that they've done this. They've obviously done it deliberately, where Blizzard's probably totally fine with the fact that nobody's talking about Cataclysm right now, because the design of all this is to have us infatuated with SOD for the next 5 to 6 months. And then when we start to not necessarily get over it, but we've had a good chunk of time with SOD, we're fuckwit MMO gamers who like a new fucking fresh, not all of us, but some of us like a new experience every 6 months or so. Hey, here comes Cataclysm launching in fucking March or April of 2024. And a lot of us might go, oh yeah, I'll check it out. Then Cata starts to get its little hype train going. And I just think that they've planned it out reasonably intelligently. Even though I still think Cata will fall a little bit flat, I understand why nobody's talking about it right now.
100%. But I think people are going to shift from finishing SOD to pushing for a Classic Plus, and that may overshadow any potential release of a Kata.
I don't see how we don't have a clash because correct me if I'm wrong, they said like we can expect, always in with an asterisk, 6 to 8 week phases. It's 1 to 25, 25 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and Kata's confirmed to come out in the first half of 2024. SOD should outlast the release of Kata, and if it comes between 40 and 50 or 50, like if they're saying Kata comes out Tuesday and you can level from 50 to 60 on Thursday, I reckon Hydral's going to be pretty fucking empty in Kata leveling. That's because their timelines aren't matching up. Things are always able to be changed, of course, but just based off what they've said so far, you can expect SOD to last 8 months minimum, and Kata's coming out in the next 7. So I can't see a world where they don't clash with each other. And if this shit's just going lightning on a bottle, I don't know. I started this whole
plan for it. There's no way they'll.
Yeah.
Well,
they'll-
just
they'll do
hearing
it.
what you
Like,
said
after
there.
the shit show of Shadowlands overlapping with the release of Max Ramus, like that was fucking terrible. And they there's no way, and that was like let alone within the same like sub-segment of this community. There's no way they'd repeat that.
Yeah, I know they have their data that retail and classic don't particularly cannibalize one another. I think the crossover is actually quite small, although it seems as though I'm running into more and more people that are saying, I'm from retail, I never played classic, TBC or Wrath, but they've jumped in for SOD.
I reckon a shitload of retail players have tried SOD.
Yeah, and that's with their new Mythic raid coming out and stuff. I'm not someone that's like, oh, fuck retail, let's take their players, or they can stay there, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying what I've witnessed myself. And maybe the cannibalization, so to speak, of the forms of the game are crossing over more, and maybe that has to be a bigger factor for them, as well as like now we're going to be just internally between classic. Like you're going to have Kata versus SOD if SOD's really popular. SOM never had a fucking chance in hell to steal the crowd from TBC, and then we were heading into the best part of TBC and Wrath hype and all that shit. Whereas SOD has a very good batter's, what's the saying? Fucking batter's chance, whatever the fuck it is. I feel like SOD can go toe-to-toe. Punches chance. It's got that against Kata, I feel, 100%. Like
we've got some friends of the show, like our good friend Tia. I was speaking to him about it, and he was saying like right now he's having the time of his life in WoW because he's a retail player, he's a Wrath player, and he's a SOD player, and he's saying the value for money for your WoW subscription right now can't be undersold, right? So
100%.
I think I know like it's all about like the release cadence. Like if they can thread the needle and just keep those things broken up, there's a great opportunity to let their players play all versions of the game. Like I want people to enjoy retail. Like man, I fucking love World of Warcraft. This is my favorite game, and I want like the retail version to do well. Like yeah, I don't see like the people who are kind of sit around hoping for retail to shit the bed every time they release a new patch. Those people are, I don't know, they're not doing themselves any favors when it comes to like classic, let alone and retail. Like that they don't have to compete. Like all versions of the game, if the release cadences are set up right, theoretically everyone could be like Tier and just having the time of their life in this game.
Let me ask you this. From what you've seen in the first week of SOD, do you think SOD has done enough to retain the retail tourist in the long run?
That's a hard one, isn't it? I think it's bite size, right? Like right now, the level 25 is so bite size. They can level a bunch of classes. Like the dungeon scene's really active. It's really easy to get gear because like all the BOE greens are so good. I don't know. I don't know if it'll keep them long term, but it might get them come back each phase, I hope.
I kind of go back to just the philosophy of the first boom of games where this is just fun, and I'm saying that from a relatively try-hard, sweaty perspective. It's like, if it's just fun, this is what I want to come home and play every day after work over pretty much any other game in the market at the moment. Like, I play Dota, I play Counter-Strike, I'm active in Wrath, and this is the one game I want to play. I can't tell you why. I mean, I know why I like vanilla, but in terms of retail players, there's just that measuring stick where there's fucking tens of thousands of us going, I don't know what it is, but fuck, playing SOD's pretty fucking fun. And then that might just, like I said, I can't tell you why, but that's just my gut instinct on why a retail player might come home from work and go, yeah, I want to keep playing this shit. Because it seems to be winning across the board. There's always problems with everything, but it's just, I can't tell you why it's good, other than my vanilla bias and why that might or mightn't appeal to a retail player. But I mean, I literally just tried playing Dragonfly a few weeks ago in the lead up to this, because I was like, oh well, I'll prepay for War Within, whatever, and I think I didn't make it past a level and a half. And that's not because I'm an anti-retail person. I've played every expansion that they've ever put out, but it just wasn't as good as what this is. So why wouldn't they play it?
Mate, it's a good segue into... I should probably introduce the conversation that was, the basis of my incredibly clickbaity thumbnail, which basically posed the question, is SOD good? Mike, sorry, mate, I've sort of left you on the sidelines there for a second, but if I can bring you back into the fold now and just say the very simple question, and I want to hear from everyone on this, quite frankly, is SOD good, and why, if so?
I've been enjoying it. I mean, there's still a lot of vanilla systems in there that I think are just frankly fucking just feel like it feels like a dinosaur and needs to be changed. It's like a lot of small quality of life things that I think no one would bitch about that I think should be changed. But that's vanilla, not SOD, that I have a problem with. I think the things they've done for Season of Discovery have absolutely revitalized my love for WoW and what old school WoW can feel like. How they've somehow recaptured the feel I had in the early mid 2000s about World of Warcraft again.
Oh, it's good to hear. Sorry, do you have a bit more?
No, I think that about sums it up.
Okay.
I've been enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Hunk, jump in, mate. I want to hear from everyone on this one. I mean, I just to add, sorry, just before you start, Hunk, I was just going to say, just to finish on one of Mike's points, mate. I was terrified. A small part of me was terrified this could have the potential to fall flat like another SOM. Before, we got all the details, when I was just like, they're going to do another season. What's it going to be? I'm terrified of SOM 2.0. That could bury Classic. You just don't know. And I'm so happy that it's been the opposite so far, that it's just been received with such enthusiasm. And, SOM was not that long ago. And I was hyped for SOM. And it became very evident very quickly that it was just a lot missing, despite all the hard work that I'm sure went into it. So I'm really glad that it's become apparent to me that this is not going to be SOM 2.0, which is good. Sorry, Hunk, you were going to say.
No, I was going to build on what Mike said, actually, because he raised a really good point. And there's been some arguments that I haven't really jumped into in the Discord. I'd like to keep things a little nice and friendly, but we've talked about is the idea of what is classic, what is the heart and soul, and a lot of people who are now all on board with SOD, who are loving it and having a good time, it's critics during its development saying, well, this isn't vanilla, and I just thought what is vanilla, what makes something classic? And I think the way they've done the runes and the abilities, it it fits so nicely in within the classic framework that it still feels like the game, but makes it fresh. Because to me, like when you start adding like, I'm not grinding. Once I start grinding for artifact power, that's when we're no longer classic, right? Because like the retail gameplay has a lot to offer, like as Mike said, with like yes, with its updated systems. They got some great versions of the classes. Demonology, Warlock, and Retail, fantastic. Like that's a great experience. So like the actual gameplay, is in like the more modern versions certainly has a lot to offer and a lot to take from. It's the systems I think that define classic and retail the differences. Classic isn't an endless treadmill. There is a point where you have your best gear, and it's fairly easy to map out what that is. There isn't like endlessly scaling power levels. There isn't like, aside from like the standard reputation, there isn't like additional like talent trees and things as you get to cap. We don't have an abundance of currencies for everything in the world for every new patch. It's those systems, and as long as the systems stay similar to what we had in vanilla, I think like the way they're adding things is going to keep like the spirit of the game alive that we love, and it's going to keep players like me coming back. Yeah.
We'll go Wonder and then Ubiquitous. Wonder, is SOD good or bad, and why?
Well, I know I started the chat saying I was going to come in angry, but I have enjoyed Season of Discovery so far, and I guess the parts that have really excited me or got the juices flowing is just the potential for change theory crafting. I love doing. I'll spend most of my day thinking about how I can get more out of my character. And for the most part, we've been working with soft content. And so you haven't had to do too much in that regard. But from a social perspective, I really liked coming out of, the first area in Mulgore and then walking into a, oh gosh, what was it called? The Wandering Swordsman. And then trying to figure out, can I interact with this mob? It's letting me talk to him. But I can't get anything done as a druid. What the hell is going on? And then calling a mate over, going, well, it's a swordsman. Surely this means it's for a warrior. Having him run literally the whole length of Mulgore just to get back to it, and then getting to discover its rune. I think everything they've done has encouraged more communication, participation within the community who are playing the game. And I think it's fantastic. To me, it's exactly what is missing from retail. It's exactly what is missing outside of the raid logging component of Wrath. It's part of the reason I stopped playing Wrath. And anything more they can do to reinforce community engagement with between players in the game, I think let's go. I'm all for it. There are a few things I would potentially change, and to potentially talk about some of the things you mentioned in the previous podcast. The idea of locking some runes behind a grind, I think, is good. It doesn't have to be the world's best runes, but some runes are good. But I would also like profession, achieve big items to be locked behind those grinds as well, and it not just be runes. So those tailoring boots or the leatherworking gloves, for example. Those coming out of a grind like that, where it's built around your profession and you using your profession, I think would be fantastic.
All right, well said. Ubiquitous, I'll get you to bring us home, mate. I'll just say this, going off of what Wonder said. I'm also surprised at the quantity of new content that we got. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like an amazing deal of new content. It's not like oodles and oodles of, oh my God, look at all this new shit. But we definitely got more than I was expecting. Like, even just, they went far beyond surface level with the runes. I really kind of was just expecting, oh, look, a shiny thing by that tree over there. Oh, there's my rune. You know what I mean? But the amount of like classic like quest chains that we got, like even just something as simple as like one of the warlock ones where you have to interact with the dead body and go back and forth between Undercity a few times within a time limit and whatnot. Just all the little things have come together that really felt classic and have gone sort of above the relatively low threshold of expectations I had, where I would have happily accepted simple shit, I think, but it's actually pretty detailed and I like it. I think, it's funny because I asked him, hey, is there anything that's going to be really hard to find in the game? And he said, no, we haven't done anything too cryptic. I actually think the runes have been fucking much hard. Like all the runes in general have been much harder to find than I was expecting. Like you really kind of did have to look up half of these things. Now that's not a knock on what they've done. I think it's really cool what they've done. But they did more than I was expecting, and I think that's fantastic. They made more items than I was expecting. BFD is more overhauled kind of in a way than I was expecting. So it's been really refreshing to see how much effort has been put in. Not just that they did what we thought was coming, but how much they did it, which has been great. Ubiquitous, mate, same question. And then I promise, guys, we'll get into the much more casual, just shooting the shit talk after I fucking ditch this podcast mode. Ubiquitous, is SOD good or bad, and why?
I'm going to approach this from my personal journey through Classic, and to go back to the beginning, my original peak in the game was original Wrath, year 11 of high school. Nothing matters in life but going home after school and playing WoW. So when I first subbed to Classic, when I first subbed to Classic, I pretty much gave him my $20 a month going, fuck, I hope we get back to Wrath. I don't even care about the first two. Lo and behold, it only took me until level 20 to go, you know what? Vanilla's pretty fucking fun. Even though I did play it, but I was like 11 years old. I didn't know jack shit. My brother came home and uninstalled MapleStory to install Vanilla, and I was distraught about that. Played Vanilla at TBC, peaked in Wrath. Anyways, we've gone through, and for all this time, I've always said maybe the boomers were right, because there's just been these codgers in the Reddit comments saying, you guys don't know that Vanilla's the best. And I was, shut up, boomer. What do you know? We've gone through and we've played through. We've gone to Wrath. I've killed Lich King. The game's fucking hectic. It's been great all the way through. But only now I've gotten this cherry on the cake that I've chased for 4 years. And you know what? The codgers were right. Vanilla's great. The world's great. Flying isn't that great. Economy inflation isn't that great. It's wild to see in Vanilla you can farm for 2 hours and you feel like you got your dollar's worth, pun intended. Whereas in Wrath, fuck me, you got to farm 70 hours in game to get what you can get for an hour's overtime. It's just one of those things where this is the most pure form of the game, because it's, with everyone starting at level 1, nothing can get too out of control economy wise, player power wise, like it has over 3 expansions. But that's a whole different rabbit hole to talk about GKP inflation, all that shit. Gold never leaving the server. This is already the best version of the game, and I feel like they've just added extra frosting to it without ruining anything. I think it was Rollo, if I'm remembering my names correctly. Mm-hmm. They said, like, you're playing this shit and it literally just feels like you're doing 1 to 60. But wow, I have a range stun as a rogue. That's fucking fun to press. Whether it's to stun a mob to now I can actually I can level with backstab because I have a stun. So I can pull my energy, stun it with my combo points from my 2 mutilates, and then I can backstab it twice and it dies. This all feels great, and it feels like a lot of work to kill a mob because I had to stun it after using 2 other spells prior. That's very vanilla-esque if you ask me. It's a lot of investment to kill 1 level 14 mob as a level 14 rogue. I don't really feel like they have taken anything away from the game. Maybe with that world scaling that they did, maybe it was good that it was so fucking hard. If they had given us the 3 abilities, they said, oh, we don't want to lose that power. I feel like the power they gave us wasn't as much as what they scaled the world to be. Like, some classes stomped it, but it was vanilla plus in terms of difficulty, as far as my experience went. which only made it better. Like, I was grateful to have these new abilities that they have given me, because I was there going, holy shit, a proper vanilla rogue would just be fucked all day long out here in the Barrens. Now I have Mutilate, like, between the eyes, all this extra shit that was getting me out of trouble. I was thankful for these things rather than just like, oh, well, I'm Super Saiyan Rogue, just murdering ostriches for fun. I think that's where they really nailed it. It literally is no easier, but we all have twice as much stuff to do, twice as much stuff to press. How can anyone fault that, in my eyes?
Mate, let me just ask all of you, and this might be a quick answer. We'll shift into the, I'm going to get a second beer and we'll shift into the fucking, we just say whatever the fuck we want to say, second half of the conversation, as opposed to me peppering you with podcast questions. But the last podcast question I'll ask is, and again, I'm not trying to lead you to an answer here, but I genuinely want to know, because I've not seen it. Has anyone seen around the traps, whether it's on the subreddit, on the forums, in-game, talking to a mate, whatever it might be, has anyone seen someone come out and say, SOD fucking sucks, I hate this game? Because I have not seen that take anywhere yet.
I've heard one person not say it sucks, but it's more they just want to get to level 60 and enjoy the full toolkit, the full raid. And it's kind of, I guess, the same comment as not really enjoying 10-man raiding. But at the same time, they're still enjoying themselves. It's not like they're a doomer about the entire game. It's just that they want to get to that end point.
No, fair enough. I've not seen anyone done tried this game for 2 days. This is the biggest piece of shit I've ever played. I'm fucking out of here. Have fun, nerds. I've not seen it.
I mean, I've got a pretty significant complaint.
All right.
I've got a loaded barrel that I'd like to fucking let go.
Sure.
Whoever it was that updated the EULA on a 5 p.m. on a Friday and went home and fucked us all over with logging in on that Saturday morning, dude.
Making the game literally unplayable.
Literally unplayable.
Oh my God, that was wild. I don't know how I avoided that. I did the EULA thing and I got in the game straight away, and then everyone in voice was like, I can't get in. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I did that was so special.
Fucking Rand lit my DMs up. He was so upset.
God, I can imagine. Hey, Hunk, can I please trust you to take the reins, kick off this second hour of much more casual conversation as we just fucking shoot the shit over a beer? Can you fire up a conversation while I go to the fridge for a can?
All right. I will, but I'm not going to be held responsible for any shenanigans that may occur.
Oh, God, he's just going to start talking about his feet. All right, I'll be back.
All right, have fun.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, so my only feat. You can... Just kidding. So do you guys have any gripes with SOD? What are your gripes?
Oh, I mean, my gripes are sort of with the stuff that's left over from vanilla, like fucking 5 seconds to gather shit and the longer mount speeds,
things like looting quest items that are on the ground, right? That disappear, and there'll be like 15 people standing around just going click, 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 click.
I often relate to I'm not sure if anyone else plays Dota 2, but Steam does
5,000 hours. I haven't played in 4 years, but 5,000 hours.
You can relate. They do their spring cleaning, which is just like an update of just like, oh yeah, remember that button like in the settings that doesn't click properly? It clicks good now. I feel like there needs to be a spring clean of vanilla, which, I mean, there's going to be people that'll get butthurt about it, but like, who gives a fuck about failing a copper vein when you're level 1 mining? Yeah. Like, I don't care that I tap it 4 times. Like, everyone has their own gauge. Like, should you get to tap it once? I'm happy to tap it 4 times. Just don't let me fail. It's literally the only thing I have to click with this fucking profession. Just let me collect it. That's just one of those little, it won't ruin anyone's game time. Like, it doesn't take anything away, but failing does. So just let me mine it. And then more rogue things is like, I should be able to remove a poison from my weapon by
And,
right-clicking
yeah,
it like a buff. That's niche to us, but
100%.
Yeah, I
that.
thought for sure that would be it. Also, still
It's great
having
quality of life.
still having to have buy fucking flash powder, and then when we get to the 40 bracket, having to make fucking blinding powder. I'm just throwing dirt in someone's eyes. Why the fuck do I need to make a
Yeah.
powder for that?
That's quite a funny little update, right? Like, has been replaced with more readily available materials like dirt. It's a
Yeah,
really funny
They
little
should
update.
make it that you can, like, you need blinding powder, but you don't if you're in, like, Tanaris, because you just throw sand instead, and that still works.
See,
So that's too intricate.
I'm the weird vanilla Andy. I kind of like all the reagents and things that you need for the various classes.
Yeah,
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
dumb.
I like magic and
can,
RuneScape, so shoot me, you know.
I can
I do
withstand
too,
them.
but it makes more sense in like old school RuneScape because of the way that that game is designed, rather than classic WoW.
I'm a weird middle ground where I can appreciate I have vanish powder, and in my mind, like, it's kind of like retail, like smoke bomb. Like, I have powder that I throw on the floor and it makes me disappear instead of just mysteriously being able to vanish in the middle of combat. But I'm like in that probably 40% territory up the scale of, like, yep, you should be able to mine shit, get rid of poisons. Like, I don't even particularly care that much about, like, mount cast speed or anything. But if they brought it, I'm saying this if they brought it in, would I give a shit? Absolutely not. Whereas there's definitely a camp there where they're like, no, it will make me angry to know that people get on their pony faster. Like, I don't give a fuck. Bring it in.
Yeah, I was
whatever.
gonna say,
Like,
the people will complain about that. I don't know what's fucked. There's something mentally wrong with those people that bitch about the fact that you mount up faster.
Not like, I don't believe that the WoW community can handle OSRS society where we poll on genuine proper issues. But something like that, I think they could poll us. We're just put a poll on the forums and say, do you cunts want a 1.5 second horsey or you want a 3 second horsey?
And they've got to word it exactly like that.
Yeah, no one will
Horsey
care either or.
must be
Like,
used.
Listen up, cunts.
They're not going to lose a sub over the 1.5 second fucking stomper or the 3 second donkey. No one's going to quit over that. But it'll just be oh, look, they're engaging with the community poll. Like, I couldn't care less.
Is it too late to make the joke about the throwing sand ability does double damage to Anakin Skywalker?
But yeah, blind only deals nature damage to tunes related to Star Wars.
I feel like that joke's 21 years too late.
It is.
How dare you? It's never too late for a fucking Anakin Skywalker and sand.
And then Raz immediately says, only if you have the high ground.
You people are the worst.
Oh dear. Now, sorry, what was your question, Hunk? I
was just asking. I was asking, like, you know, what are people's? There's just little gripes, you know, because my biggest gripe has been the quest art. You still are standing around with 50 idiots spamming click to loot quest items off the ground. Right. There's still so many of those quest items that just disappear, you know, for 15 seconds. You know,
it can be worse than 15 seconds though. The Warsong supplies, I think I had to wait 30 minutes for the respawn. And then someone else got it and I had to wait another 30 minutes. I thought, oh, fuck.
Mine's always going to be instant mail, but I genuinely can't tell if it's good vanilla friction or unnecessary vanilla friction.
Yeah. I'm torn. I kind of like the non-instant mail. The little inconveniences, I don't know.
Yeah, I can appreciate it, and that's just firmly in the grey area. Give me fucking instant mail, don't, whatever, I'll work around it. I would like to bring up something that I've literally just gone through while you just happened to mention gripes. I've just played 2 Warsong Gulches with a friend from the guild. We lost one in 6 minutes from a full EU pre-made where 5 druids stormed the tunnel. And I tried to defend the flag room, and all of them just popped faps and ran away with our flag. And the team said, AFK, don't waste your time. And we literally stood in the graveyard and just AFK'd and lost in 6 minutes. Then we queued again, and it was a legitimate pug versus pug, and it was 40,000 times more enjoyable for everyone. It took 22 minutes, but we still won. fuck premades off into their own fucking queue. Finally,
mate,
please.
I've been
After
saying it
4
for years. I've been saying it for fucking years.
Get them out of here. And I'm backing this with the. If anyone else is a fan or not, I have watched Sony Digital, the Warrior streamer. He's streamed all of Classic or whatever, and he's been out there like he's an ale tier grinder in Warsong Gulch 14 hours a day, and they're literally loading into their they have a pre-made, and they check the scoreboard and go, oh, it's not a pre-made, like easy. Dub. 3-0, and they were there saying like we didn't even have someone die, like we farmed them and capped 3 flags and we had no one die, and then like but he's there saying he likes versing pre-mades because it just makes streamers versus streamers, or it's a hard game. Just let them fucking battle each other. I don't even care if I verse a half a pre-made, because immediately they're nowhere near as organized. You can 2 rogues can defend the flag room against a half a pre-made, but 10 pre-made against 10 pugs, like just literally it would be like a concede option. If we all type /concede, can I just get my 1 mark and no rep and leave and not get a deserter buff? Because it's just that lame.
Like like you're saying, you played Dota and it's the same in like League of Legends, right? Like you can queue with 1 person in ranked, and then outside of that, it's a 5v5, right? Pre-made, and when the queue's active. And I always think that's the same. Like let people. I'd even say let 3 people queue together and go into a 10-man. Then outside of that, like make it pre-made queue 10v10 or 3-person max in a group. And I wouldn't even mind if they buffed the like honor or that they got from the 10-person pre-made. I wouldn't care. Give them 20% more honor, just to still encourage people, because I know there's people who've had that argument, and I personally think it's a shitty argument, who are like, oh, well, if, there's a pre-made queue, why would anyone bother pre-mading, going in a pre-made? It's like, well, give them some kind of incentive if they want to just play with their friends, but it shouldn't be farming the fuck out of everybody else as their incentive.
I was gonna say it's a bit akin to, so like in Dota, if you party with a friend, it'll put you 2 versus another party of 2 and 3 solos on both teams, and it will do a very good job of that. And if you queue as 3, it might be a party of 3 and 2 versus 3 and 2, and then you can't queue as 4, but you can queue as 5, and it will find you another 5 to verse. I don't know why, like the tech's obviously there. Why not make it that, all right, a pre-made queues into a pre-made, fucking double or nothing, boys. Fucking double the rep to win. Try your fucking guts out. Stream the greatest match of Warsong Gulch the game's ever fucking seen, because you're going to get like 400 rep for this humdinger of a fucking battle. Yeah, and everyone wins from that. They will froth for it because they like to beat other good teams anyway.
And they're going and smashing the FAPs and everything like that 100%. Like,
and then if they happen to queue into a full-blown pug, well, sorry, you're going to get half rep because you kind of flogs for beating just random guys having a beer on Friday.
But then, as Christ is saying, it's a good, decent point. How do you then avoid the win trading at the higher level if you've upped the reward?
Oh, I'm very I don't really. It doesn't affect me if other people get exalted.
Just
really.
ban them. Fuck. Just ban them. Like,
there is
so
that.
Easy to prove.
If Hunk got exalted in 3 days, does it really impact me getting?
It impacts me because I wouldn't hear the fucking end of it.
Yeah, it's like.
It's one of those things. That's a very controversial take for me to just be like, I couldn't care less if they win trade in a non-ranked society. Like it's just a rep farm. Who cares?
Hey, Hideous John, mate, how are you?
Yeah, good to be back in.
Mate, thanks for joining us.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Mate, have you got a beer in? Have you got a beer on you or what?
Back.
Yeah, Hideous Marcus is here, and I've upped my gamer skills too, boys. We've got to do another dungeon.
Oh yeah.
What level are you? 25?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, 25.
Nice.
25. I reckon I should just like show off in BFD or something, because like I got some big skills and some big numbers for about 10 globals, and then I'm out of mana.
Mate, you're on the mage. You're on the mage, right?
Yeah.
Are you mage healing?
No, I'm not healing yet. I need to get the last, like the rewind time rune, and it's been a bit of a punish, but I've actually enjoyed that punish. It's been it's been good.
Mate, we've not had the mage review yet in the fucking 4 to 5 hours of conversations I've had today. Give us the quick fucking sod mage review.
I mean, my class feels great. I'm playing fire at the moment, like a PvP fire spec, because I'm out in the world all the time. And like I delete people, which is great. I run out of mana pretty quick, which is one of those things at level 25, I guess. My gear isn't really on point or anything like that. But this like one story that really sticks out to me is I went on a bit of a mission last night to get a couple of runes that I was missing, and met up with some guys in Duskwood, and they're just complete rans. And I'm like, I need help. I need a bit of a hand killing this like lich dude. Jumped in the group with them and got the lich, and I'm like, I need to get me book for Icy Vein. And they helped me. We pushed all the way into this crypt. There was people dying left and right. Like it was a full classic adventure. We get to Westfall, and then there was just war crimes going on everywhere. It was it was a pretty good experience to have. It sort of really capped off my week.
Mate, you love to hear that
well.
kind of stuff, because one of the boys in the earlier call was saying they were a bit dubious of Blizzard putting some of the runes in the locations they have, like in the higher level, whether it's go to Duskwood and do this, or go deep into fucking, enemy territory in the wetlands or something and do this. And they were a bit dubious of people, if they didn't have a strong guild or something, actually finding other randos who would do these relatively challenging group quests to go and get high level runes with them. So it's good to hear a story that there's a success story. Like you just got picked up by some randos and you all said, let's go fucking do this.
Yeah, and like I haven't had that since 2019 Classic, and then prior to that was Classic the first time around. Really, I think maybe because I've done it so late, it was easier to find people that weren't like rushing or anything like that were actually okay with hanging around and just helping me out for shits and gigs. And Priest did get a really good set of eagle pants that I probably should have just like need rolled on, but I'm like, the boys are helping me, so I just passed it up.
Mate, I've still because I just dinged 2 days ago 25 on the warrior, and I equipped that +4 stam, +4 strength back piece that I got in the Duskwood crypts that I rolled against with one of our shaman, and it's like, it really does feel impactful. It's a bullshit, ridiculous green item we would never think anything of. And now it's like borderline BIS outside of BFD, maybe. Like I just think cool things like that have been really nice to come by.
True endgame is farming the level 25 greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's big money, man. Like if you land the right one, you're just like instantly rich.
I mean, yeah, I got Humbert Helm already.
Oh, mate, you get like, according to trade chat here at the moment, you should get like 3,000 gold for that, or even over 9,000 gold. Who knows?
Two days
I
ago,
am amazed at how much gold people have already.
Well, I want to talk about 2 days ago, I saw Humbert's helm selling for 90 gold on the auction house, right? I think it's come down a bit since then, but like we're talking about by day 5, people were listing this thing for 90 gold. And I'm like, are people, number one, do people have that money? And number two, if they have it, are they spending 100% to 90% of their amount of gold on that one helm? I don't know.
On Shadow Strike Day, there was a BFD run where they were going to tip a priest 20 gold to heal the raid. I'm thinking, how the hell can you tip someone 20 gold at a week in?
It kills me because I keep running into people through the show who are like, yeah, mate, I've got 3 golds. And I think I've spent most of I said I had 30 golds today on the podcast, but I think I've spent most of that after like the raid and whatnot, because I did end up buying some potions. I didn't really use them, like rage potions and health potions and whatnot. But like, I've probably got like, I don't know, it's got to be 9 or 10 gold or something right now. And a lot of mates are like, yeah, I've got 3 gold, I've got 6 gold, maybe I've got 15 or whatever. But like, I know you just quest. Like, I'm not challenging like how to get the gold. I get that you just quest and they give you like a gold 50 or whatever per quest. But like, who are these cunts? No, sorry, I should take that back. professions are a thing, I get it. But it's still like having 100 gold right now feels weird to me in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like you must have been smashing the auction house, smashing the professions or whatnot, which is a thing. You get an early start, that's cool. But like I think most people have 10 fucking gold.
I mean, I had to make 70 gold to get my last rogue tank runes.
Yeah, but you spent it all on the runes and shit since, right?
Yeah. But I've made well over 100 gold. So
Yeah. But like there is a reinvestment that the game asks of you as well. Like I don't think there's a lot of people floating around with a couple of 100 gold in like ready to go right now.
Well, I did see one. I saw one post for a screenshot of someone on Crusader Strike, a rogue with a budget of 600 gold for GDKPs for BFD.
Yeah, but do we know? As always, people say it's fair to question like, do we know if that's like true or just a meme post? You know what I mean?
No, it was a screenshot from trade chat, like that someone just took.
Yeah, but I can say anything in trade chat. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm aware of 3 people that have in excess like 150 gold, and they have everything in the game as well. Like they have all their runes.
The question is, how did they get it? They haven't done it.
They bought the gold.
Nah, these 3 players, I can 100% vouch for that they didn't buy gold because like they're just for reasons of which I know them as a person in real life or from playing them for 4 years. They're not going to go spend $50 or $150 on G2G to buy that gold. They're notorious, like they're always richer than everyone in the guild, and it's because they are asked to actually vendor every fucking green that you got at level 6. Me, I have 35 gold on my rogue and 10 gold on my bank ult that does like the auctioning and shit. And dude, I just vendor everything. I can't be fucked. I can't be fucked making gold unless it's through herbs or mining. I can't be asked. And even I have 50 gold, so I just kind of go with the benefit of the doubt, knowing that they don't buy it, and they are asked. Like they will, if there was that green pair of male pants that would sell for 35 silver on the auction house day 1, and they would vendor for 4, they would go auction it. I would go, fuck that walk, bruv. I'm fucking questing. Like I vendor that shit, and then you go, bro, how are you so much richer than me? That's exactly why they're richer than you, because then they actually take that 35 silver, they get something else, they turn that into a gold, and it's just because they're bothered. But with that said, they're the minority. Like the 3 people that I'm thinking of are the minority where they genuinely get rich through the game because they know it so well. Even though it's sod, they know like even items for themselves. They were like, man, there's like 70,000 warlocks that want these fucking cuffs. I'm going to slide these Gucci sliders onto someone else's feet and let them pay for it rather than me having 1 int, 1 stam, because some other idiot will pay 1 gold on day 2 for them. And that's just how they make their money real quick. But there's definitely, I've heard the stories of what the bots have been getting up to, like the Silithus ad farm using the guards. We had a guildie try it, and he had a lot of troubles with it. So I don't know if they did like a low-key, sneaky pot fix or not, or he's just an idiot. But he was having a miserable time trying to do the exact same thing the bots were.
Yeah, because the balance damage has been so bad, I've swapped to being a Resto Druid. And I've been grinding these bears in Ashenvale to turn the either leathers into the quest robe hand in, or the bird fur. And I have an Alliance Warlock killing 3 bears before I kill 1. And okay, I get it as there's a bit of a tax being a healer in that regard, but my god, it is hard to make gold as a healer.
Warlocks are dead. I mean, like I said, the second I got that sniff of chaos bolt, like they're fucking silly. Like they just tear through shit. I'm actually devastated I didn't get to play my Warlock today. I'm too busy making content for you bastards. But what am I talking about? You're the ones providing the content. This conversation is amazing. You lads, I love you. Huh?
I play at the same time though.
Fucking there goes Josh resenting his.
Well, that's the thing. I know. I don't play when I podcast, but like I've got no drama with the callers playing because like I've been this way for years where like I'm like, what am I going to do? Like these fucking legends are giving me their free time. What am I going to do? Like don't play the game? Like fuck that. But like I know I can't I'm very bad at multitasking. I can't concentrate if I'm playing the game at the same time.
A question I have on the theme of how difficult it is for healers in Classic. Would anybody be that bothered if they instituted the spell power, healing power change to be the same thing?
Yeah, no, I'd be fine with that.
I wouldn't give a shit. It
Because
wouldn't
I
bother me in the
noticed
slightest.
some of the drops from BFD have that healing power and nature damage, which is obviously targeted towards resto druids and the shaman. But I unless it's going to become a mainstay feature of all of those other raids to come out, I'm actively concerned that life as a healer is going to be very rough.
I got a better question for you. Piggybacking off of that, what do you guys reckon of like, they hinted at dual spec coming at some stage, so people have already been asking about it. What do you reckon of like?
I'm already up to like 70 silver respecs.
Yeah, so like, what do you think of? And this is a genuine question, like having dual spec locked behind an epic level 60 quest chain, or just making it something you can get very easily at level 40?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think dual spec shouldn't be something grand and epic you have to acquire, in my opinion, but I think that should be saved for a lot of other things.
I hate
I'd
to
be
jump
happy if
in
they
like
just
this,
gave it to.
but you saw what they did with the mount from Ashenvale, right?
Yeah.
You can get it for friendly now.
Yep.
A 50% mount, so they might do something similar with dual spec, make it easy to get. A mount used to be like a sacred thing, kind of in a way.
Well, I mean, I guess that mount is only usable in one zone might be the counter argument, but I know what you mean. They wanted people using these things, so like, I guess let me rephrase the question then. Take away the epic quest chain part of it. Would you guys prefer dual spec to come online at 40 or 60?
40.
Yeah, I think 40. Especially as a mage player, like I know that I'm going to like PvP as Frost, but like I'm interested in healing. I'm interested in seeing where that goes. I really want to give it a whirl, and it'd be too prohibitive for me as like a primarily PvP player to have to just respec every time I want to fight people.
I mean, right now I'm respecking Feral just to go out in the world and kill shit, and then respecking back to Resto.
What's the maximum cost now once you've done it a few times?
I don't know what the
gold.
maximum is.
1 gold.
It goes up 10 silver every time until 1 gold.
That's not too bad.
I'm at 50 silver at the moment, so that's as far as I've gone, and it has gone up 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and someone said 1 gold's the cap, so...
It's still annoying.
been
It's still annoying coughing over a gold every time between raid and PvPing, but like, it's nothing. I get it.
And if you're doing like, it's what every 3 days in essence. So it's kind of a pretty fast turnover of gold if you're not making that much gold.
Yeah, so it might be a minimum of like, let's say you're PvPing, flipping between PvP spec and your raid spec. You do that every 3 days. So now it's like there's your 4 gold a week or whatever just on that. But I guess it's only 4 gold, but then if you've already knocked off all the quests you can get that you use to get a chunk of your gold, now you're grinding 4 golds worth of mats, which again, it's not like a huge amount, but it's still, just for chopping and changing specs to participate in the World PvP event, it'll add up. I don't know.
That was kind of my gripes earlier today about how we're eventually just going to run out of quests for gold.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, GAPs are going to take off and auction house prices are going to climb, and
There's not that many quests you want to be doing for gold. Like, you've got to save some, because a lot of people will want the quest log full of 20 completed quests ready to go on day 1 of phase 2 or whatever. So like, with that in mind, like, you don't want to go nuts with, I know it's, and I enjoy the temptation that Blizzard has thrown out there, where they're kind of having a bit of fun with this, like, well, fuck, there's risk reward. Dude, you can do all the quests if you want to do and become rich, but then you can have a fucking shit of a time at level, 25 on phase 2, aren't you? The answer might be, well, I'm just going to dungeon grind, so I don't give a fuck. Well, maybe.
You're almost going to be forced into dungeon grinding if you've done all of those
If
quests.
you've done all the quests.
Even if you don't want to. Unless you're going to sit open world grinding mobs.
Well, it's another reason I'm worried about dungeon grinding becoming so prevalent. I mean, I say worried, but like, I don't know. I think the dungeon spam of Phase 1 Classic was lame. I'd hate to see it become a part of, like, a necessary part of SOD in a way. Not necessary, but you know what I mean.
It pulls you away from the discovery component of the world being the character.
Yeah.
I needed the gold for my runes, so
Yeah.
I don't regret doing a bunch of quests to make gold so I could afford to be a rogue tank when the fucking shredder turbocharger things are 3 gold a pop and I need 16 of them.
Oh, can I ask a question? So, that engineering item you get to be able to salvage the shredders?
Yeah.
Is that really like a exceptionally low drop rate?
No, I've got it's not that low.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten it a few times. It's the fact that when you make the thing to salvage the shredder, you don't get the turbocharger guaranteed, and they
Gotcha.
cost like a gold to make a piece, so it's not even worth making them. When I could
Okay.
it's easy. I literally figured out it was easier to just farm the gold and buy them.
Because I got one, and Wowheads is saying it's a 1.5% drop rate. However,
it's
and I thought
higher
that
than
can't be
that.
right. Yeah.
It's higher than that.
Because I gave it to a guildie, and I was like, oh fuck, if that actually is really rare and sells well, I'm spewing. But I'm glad it's not now, I guess.
I've gotten I've done duo VC runs for gear, and in 6 runs we got 2 of them.
Okay.
So
There you go. Happy days. What do you lads want to talk about?
I would like to bring to the table and celebrate the demise of the mage. They're no longer 50% of the population. No one wants to fucking play them except for guys that are like, haha, mage healer. It's way more, it's different from druid healer. But how fucking nice is it to not have like half the fucking server playing those frost bolting, kiting assholes that farm dungeons?
I have to admit, I've not seen many. And John, I know you were obviously saying you play one. I've just not seen many.
We have 25 guildies online right now. There's only one mage, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, the wife of a player that's just a casual, like, I like mages, whatever. There's not a mage in fucking sight, and I love it.
I also like the fact that there's not been that many. I mean, there are still some that many brown boys running around.
It's
Yeah,
refreshing.
I've not
It's
seen a lot of
it's
warriors.
turned things on its
very
head.
much.
Mind you, Josh, quote me on this. When in like 6 months' time, they can charge 5 gold a fucking portal because there's no fucking mages getting around, and everyone's
Yeah.
going to go level 40 ult to teleport themselves with the old cast it,
True.
log out, log on your other character, use your own alt port because they're going to try and rip us off.
If you
Oh
had
yeah, man, I'm gonna rip his all off. Like,
if you had to guess, which class do you think is the most represented? Because I think it's easily Warlock.
It's warlock, and then I would say druid after that. I've seen so at least this is just for me on Wild Growth. I've seen so many fucking druids. Sometimes I've literally opened up the guild tab, and half the names with 60 people online is druids.
I was saying, my own, it's Pally. That's all I get.
Oh,
whispers.
yeah.
Yeah,
Alliance.
mate, that's been the same fucking shit for 20 years. Alliance, always Pally, number one. Come on.
I felt it's been hunters.
It
I feel like I see them everywhere in the world.
It was
It's funky.
hunters, and then they went, oh my god, they're actually actively patching, and they all fucking abandoned ship and went and played something else. And there was that big realization of like, oh, what do you mean I can't just play the best thing that's going to be great the whole time? They're going to change it.
I'd actually love to see from Blizzard, in the same vein that they released all those fun official stats from Hardcore, do like, they showed how many classes, like the number of deaths per class or whatever.
Oh God!
I look, I know that someone's going to say, and someone from Blizzard would probably say, we'll never do this, Josh, because it will skew people's choices and maybe create a false narrative around what class is over or underrepresented on this server. But I mean, surely there's some form of argument of having a bit of fun and being like, hey guys, here's the official actual representation across all servers. And they go, look, 16% of people are playing Warlock, 14% of people are playing Druid, blah, blah, blah. I just think that would be fun. And then you could do, just the infographics are always fun. Like, the Ashenvale general, whatever, has been killed this many times already. And fucking Twilight Lord Kelrus has had this many groups wiped to it and things like that. I love those kinds of fun infographics.
I would really like that, just so that I could pick the underrepresented class to get a better chance at a raid spot.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy it.
I think more information for the players to talk about and make decisions over is good.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but I think like what Josh said, like the questions are got to be pretty binary because the community has destroyed itself in the past, and I'd hate to see that happen again.
We do get the long-winded version through Warcraft logs. I mean, it's not a perfect representation because not everyone plays, like not everyone's raiding BFD or whatever, but over 20,000 data points, you kind of do get the averages anyway. And like Hunter is, for example, Hunter's at 20,000 passes in the last week in BFD, Rogue's second on 14k, and Feral Druid, specifically Feral Druid, is at 14,000. So there's
no one playing balance.
What's that, sorry?
There'll be no one playing balance, right? So all the druids
there
are
862 distinguished gentlemen enjoying their Moonfire or Wrath, whatever the fuck they're casting at level 25.
I wanted you to say there's one guy. There's one dude did it.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing is that there's almost 12,000 pallies, and between all three shaman specs, there's only about 5,000-ish.
Wow.
Shaman. So pally is very fucking dominant on Alliance compared to what shaman is on Horde. But ferals give Wind Fury, which is like what shamans are all about, so it kind of makes sense. Like,
just note there's 4,000 shaman tanks alone.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at say damage only, and you're not picking up the tanks.
What?
4,000
of the 5,000.
Yeah. So there's 2,000 enhanced, 600 LEs, 4,000 tanks.
Wow.
2,000 healers for shaman.
600 LEs. That's all.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
There's only 450 DPS priests, if you want to call them that. They're not really a shadow priest yet.
They're wonders still, right?
Yeah, it's like 450 guys playing DPS priests. I mean, it's just looking at it from an analytical standpoint, how many of them are doing a really, really fucking good job of playing DPS priest, for example. So now you have to look at where they are in the DPS stonk market, and everyone's saying that they're so garbage. There's got to be some that aren't doing that bad, besides the fact that they bring so much util.
There are 18,000 priest healers, though. So are they just healing while they're good?
I mean, someone mentioned how strong priest healing is at the moment, and Hunk can absolutely attest to this. And it's more than fucking penance. But like, when I dicked around in Ashenvale the other day, there were these two fucking prick priests that were just tag teaming, and they were just. There was only me, and I bumped into like one other guy that tried to kill these priests with me, and they were just swapping penances, and penance is so fucking strong. We really couldn't kill these cunts, and it wasn't until like two more people arrived that we could just overpower them. But like their penance was just, you couldn't out DPS it.
I've actually I've got a log here. I did a 707 BFD today with some very undergeared 25s, but we managed to get it done. I just quickly want to grab the data because I think Prayer of Mending is absolutely fucking insane.
It is.
That's the big one, is Prayer of Mending.
It was like I would change my details to healing done, and we were running with double priests, so we were in Dispel fucking Utopia for Horde for Kelrus or whatever his name is, and every time
from everyone.
Every time I moused over it, it was like 98% Prayer of Mending healing.
It's like
yeah,
wild growth is the heal for resto druids as well. That thing is OP.
It's both the priest's top ability, and it's a cast one and done ping pong around, and you could literally hear it. Like you would hear that pom sound just going ping 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 around the raid group, because it's just so well integrated to like how you cop damage in the fights. Like it's always going to bounce. There's so much AoE and shit going on. So priests are insane for healing at 25.
Take a moment just to read the spell details of Prayer of Mending. That alone will tell you how broken it is.
Yeah.
Without even reading data of how it's performing. That alone.
Oh no, I've played priest for 15 years. It's insane in the right circumstances. Like just stupidly broken for one button press. And it's particularly efficient as well, or at least it always has been whenever I've played priest. So, but yeah, I think there's more priest healers than every other healing spec combined in the game by a significant margin as well. So
I was thinking of rolling a priest alt. I think you guys just sold me.
There you go. Well, Hunk will tell you all fucking about it. He's loving it, right, Hunk?
Yeah, well, I had the misfortune for our BFD run. I'd hit 25. Went to Mulgore to try and manage to finally wrangle up some druids to come and click the adventurer, and ended up with a fucking bugged quest and had to go to BFD without prayer of mending, which was a nightmare. But I mean, a lot of the pickup group advertisements you're seeing are all like, if they're looking for healers, it's always like priest plus one other, be it priest, another priest, or whatever you want, right? Like,
It's because of the magic dispel needed.
yeah, exactly.
I think while talking about healing, it's probably the best, like relatable instance to mention how nice it is that you can, imbue, for example, penance and circle of healing, and you can just equip a different item knowing that this fight's AoE damage, and that fight is just main tank getting chunk damage. And it kind of alleviates it gives them a reason as to why we don't need dual spec this early, when you can just change a couple of items, get different runes on them, and you're literally a different kind of healer. Like in Wrath, like you've got Holy Priest and Resto Druid that are AoE blanket everybody in warm cuddles of health, whereas now you can literally be a Resto Druid or a Holy Pally fight to fight within being a Holy Priest. Like you can just have penance and just jack up the main tank easily, or you can go Circle of Healing and, just completely negate all AoE damage. It's kind of cool that that's possible, and I don't know if we've even as a whole player base, because we haven't played the game long enough to even appreciate that fact yet. Like we haven't gotten there to nerd out on it. Whereas like once we're in a more intense raid than BFD, or even just more players get there, it'll be appreciated how nice it is to be able to go like, oh yeah, these runes are fucking hectic on this fight. Just press your macro or this keybind and swap to that set.
At this point, it's a luxury for classes that have, say, only 2 predefined roles. So if they're getting 4 runes and they've got 2 roles, well, then take a guess and say each role is going to get 2 runes to choose from. If you've got 3 roles, you're going to have 1 rune dedicated to each of those.
Oh yeah, if you're a druid, shaman, or pally, like suck eggs, you've kind of got 1 rune in each slot for each of your roles, like you're saying.
Yeah, so I don't know if that means that in the future those classes get more options in runes, so they also get that optionality, or the runes have multiple effects, so it might have an effect for a ret paladin, and it also has an effect for a holy paladin.
Yeah, potentially like shaman, for example, could get I think it's healing rain, isn't that their AoE heal everyone in a circle ability? Versus maybe they get a rune that just makes healing waves super jacked, and then they have that versatility in whether they want to be a raid AoE healer or single target tank healer. Because that's a problem in BFD at the moment. We don't have enough runes that there is a bit of a, at least for the last 2 bosses, there is a bit of a you can do it, and then you can do it really fucking easily if you just don't take these 3 classes, take 2 of those, and it's a fucking joke. And it's unfortunate that it's that way. Like on Kelris, like If you take 2 priests, you're laughing compared to taking, particularly on Horde. If you've only got 1 dispel versus 2, you kind of don't even have to care about kicks as much. You can take 1 kicker, but if you've got 1 priest, you 100% need like 2 or 3 kicks in your raid comp, which is funny to say when it's only a 10-man. That's supposed to be funny, easy content, but it's just the reality of the situation. If you want to clear it 100%, there's definitely a raid comp out there that probably makes it twice as easy as just taking any 10 players.
Just on the BFD thing, you just reminded me, Ubiquitous. I don't think I raised this in the earlier call, and apologies if I did, but I want to ask you guys, like, you know, Hunk and I did the raid for the first time 2 nights ago or whatever, and, you know, like I said, a lot of it was probably my fault, but we didn't get past Twilight Lord Kelris. And
half our raid had hit 25, like literally the day, like right before the raid.
Yeah, I know. We all had shit.
There's no shame.
DPS was awful. Everyone was missing runes. Like,
we
were
that's
not set up for success.
We were missing a lot of DPS. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it wasn't that. Like, I didn't have pro mending. We only had 1 dispel. Like, there was a lot going on. There heaps of people just were missing runes. Like, there were people without, like, who were in the raid who didn't even have a Wailing Caverns clear. You know, like.
Oh well, now I feel better. All right, thank you.
No, yeah, and don't feel bad. You did fucking awesome, bro. You did so good.
100%. On paper, hearing that to my ears is like you were doomed. That's a 5 out of 7 clear at best, and I hope you had fun doing it. That's it.
No, we had
the reality.
We had a great time, and I was really proud of the guys for like.
Yeah.
No one got down. No one said, you know, fucking fuck this, fuck that, fuck everyone. We all had a good time. Fuck, the only person that cracked the shits was me, because again I went full like grumpy old man post 8 p.m. in my bedtime.
I heard you saying.
Yeah, and it was just like I think it was around like. You know, it took us it took us like 55 minutes to get to Kelris. Great. Okay, we were fucking going great. And then we spent the next, you know, what was it, Hunk, 2 hours on Kelris. And so I think like 40 minutes into, you know, attempt number 6 or 7 or whatever on Kelris, you know, we're trying to coordinate and call out the interrupts. And, you know, interrupting is a fine art. And the communication it was really, really good. We smashed it the first like half dozen attempts. Then we went through a couple of attempts where it got a little bit, you know, people were getting tired, stopped calling it out as much.
Just cut off there,
sorry, I did.
A little bit, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, like, basically, like, the interrupts, you know, we had a couple of runs where they started to go down a little bit, but what happens is, and you guys know what it feels like, it sucks when you know, you waste an interrupt. It fucking feels like shit when 2 people interrupt on the same ability and you go like, oh, particularly on a boss like Kelris where like you're really trying to prog it and you just want everything to be as crisp as it can be. So not that it was a big deal, but like because I was tired and grumpy at one stage, and I didn't say it toxically, but at one stage I was like, guys, because I was doing the thing where I was like, I've got next interrupt, and then somebody else would do that interrupt, and I was like, all right, guys, if I say I've got next interrupt, please just have some faith in me that I'm gonna pull it off. And that's about as toxic as it got when I said that. So I felt bad about saying that, but again, I was just tired and grumpy. And I noticed a funny thing though with Kelris, where it was like, you know, we sort of bitched a little bit, and I think justifiably so, about having shit luck a lot of the times down in the portal room when you go downstairs with the priestesses and everything.
So many people die.
Yeah, where we can't tell, you know, obviously it's just keep killing them until a portal arrives, but 50% of our runs, people were killing 4, 5, 6 priestesses and be like, I can't get a fucking portal. And we
6
wipe.
or 7 and no portals.
And we wipe. And it was like, I thought this was the kind of RNG that people have skewered WoW raids for in the past.
I think it's, I believe someone had said in the pod earlier today or even like earlier this week where it's just a case of, man, I've done 3 BFDs. That was the first time I full cleared, and it's just because like you're just taking dudes in that are fresh geared. If they had been even 25 for a whole extra day, done a couple of quests in Ashenvale to give nice blue rewards and shit. If you had a full 10-man of people up to that level, I feel like you'd be killing 8 of those people down in that realm with a bit of organization. Like you can game it to know who's going to get sent down. If you send the right people down, like if there was 2 of me down there, we'd kill fucking 10 of them, and you're going to get a portal, and everyone's going to be at that level in 2 weeks from now, and it will be a piss take. But I do agree with you that it was a bit annoying that, like, we had some. I think our record was like 7 or something ridiculous, like 6 or 7. They swear that they killed that many. I wasn't down there, but that I feel like that shouldn't happen. But at the same time, everyone's going to be so geared they're going to be killing 8 or 9 in a couple of weeks, depending on what class they send down.
We consistently had people killing 6 and not getting portals.
Yeah, it was probably half our wipes, I reckon, tonight.
It was really, really frustrating. And then, like, but even then, like, even when we had a perfect run and got to the last phase, I think, like, the lowest we got, Kelrus, was about 7%.
Yeah, it was.
And, like, that sounds low, but when you consider that, like, the real fight is the last 35%, you don't just need 7% more DPS. Like, that's the sort of 20 to 30% more DPS you need.
Wasn't it a fucking kick in the dick when we popped all those shadow protection pots and it was like, my eyes, the goggles do nothing. You know what I mean?
I mean, not to mention how strong this BFD gear is. Just like, even if you just farmed the first 5 bosses for a few weeks, like, the BFD gear, the item budget is like the equivalent of like level 40 blues. It's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
I forgot to say we had the worst luck. Hunk, all druid gear, the first 4 bosses, and we didn't have a druid.
It was so bad. It was so unfortunate. That's what it was saying. We didn't even get like someone who got a bunch of good gear.
So no one upgraded.
So disappointing.
Like, yeah, I got a couple of things, and that was
well, at least I got some kick-ass gear.
Yeah, I literally looked. The sword that the one-handed sword that I think the 3rd boss drops is better than level 40 blues.
Ooh.
That's how good. There's a epic staff from Kelris that is better than a level 50 blue.
Oh, does Kelris drop an epic?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's got 2 epics that he can drop.
Oh,
sorry, Kelris. I'm not sure about Kelris. I know he drops an epic, but I know the last boss drops 2.
I know there's some staff with a ridiculous amount of spell power that's better than a level 50 blue. Either way.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they keep this power creep in check, but I mean, that's kind of like for a P2 fucking chit-chat.
Hunk,
it has 26 spell power, 15 intellect, 14 spirit.
Yeah,
that's for level 25. That is insane.
Yeah, that's probably about a staff of Jordan, isn't it? About there.
But keep in mind, most classes or casters are not necessarily increasing their damage with intellect. Not at the same way that melee are going up by agi and strength.
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm just talking about just the raw item budget on level 25 gear already. Like, imagine what the next couple, how high the item budget of the next couple bands of raid gear are going to be. Like, we're going to be going into, like, level 60 raids fucking juiced up stronger than any pre-raid BIS we could ever possibly have.
I'm afraid that the level 60 raids will not be 40-man anymore. They'll be 20-man just because of how much stronger we are.
Oh, I'll be so happy for that.
Oh, dude, I love 40-man raids.
I hate 40-man. I hate 40-man raids.
40-man raids.
Hate them.
Why do you hate them?
The fucking organization it takes is so fucking insane.
Oh, well. Yeah.
I'll be right back, sorry.
All right, it's all good. What was I going to say? Fucking Hunk, we're going to have to organize like a faction within the guild of old men who like to raid during the day on weekends or something. You know what I mean? I honestly, as much as I feel weird saying this, I think it's reaching into my heart of hearts. I just don't think I can raid at night anymore. I really don't. I loved the first hour of our raid the other night, and it wasn't because of the speed bump that Kelris was or the prog part of it, but I fucking did not enjoy the next 2 hours. I was just so tired and so fucking like all I wanted to do was go to bed as soon as 8 o'clock hit. I'm fucked in that regard.
I've been surprised
raid
at how
on the weekends.
Hell yeah.
I'm kind of the same. I also just don't like spending all night in a raid and then just having to immediately go to bed afterwards.
Yeah.
because I've got to get up and go to work the next day or some shit.
That's
Like,
that's young man
I don't
shit.
sleep well. Like, yeah, it's young man stuff. I just don't sleep well. I can't run on 5 hours a night sleep, and I fuck things up at work when I get no sleep. I just can't be doing that. Yeah.
I feel like I've been seeing a lot of US players on Shadow Strike.
Yeah, I've seen a
Has anyone else
few.
noted the same thing?
I've definitely
more
bumped
so
into
than
a
ever
few.
before.
Well, I think we got some because, and actually, sorry, I
Because the server names.
yes. No. I was going to say I've been needing to balance out all my praise of the classic team with some criticism as well. And you just reminded me, Wonder, there was one thing that I thought was a really shocking and easy fix on launch day. I was really, really surprised to see that they didn't put, and I don't know if this is for a reason or not, they didn't put the regions, like the West Coast or East Coast designations next to the server name. So people had no fucking idea where servers were. So if you're in LA and you want to play on the West Coast server, they didn't know which one the West Coast server was. They didn't know which one the East Coast server was. So they didn't know playing with people in their time zones. And I don't begrudge the Americans for this because I guess they don't need to know this, even though it might seem like common sense to us. But I think a lot of Americans didn't know what the AU in the brackets stood for.
Oh,
I
wait,
agree.
really?
Yeah.
You
Agree,
can't be
100%.
serious.
Yeah, and
Oh
so
my
some
God.
rolled on the Australian server, the Oceanic server, mistakenly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure all the U.S. servers now are just Mountain Time Zone.
Is that the case? Oh,
Yeah.
well, then I'm
I-
happy to be told
yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I think you're not a fucking idiot, Josh.
No,
I think-
Mike, please tell me
Let's
I'm a
not
fucking.
discount
Say
that
it,
just
say
yet.
it, say it. Say the words, Mike.
I did believe Blizzard has just taken the stance of, at least for like U.S. servers, we're just slapping you all in the middle. We're not playing ping favorites anymore. You're all just slap middle of the United States. All servers.
Well, fuck. Now I have to take it all back.
So
There you go.
I think literally no matter what server you picked, it's Mountain Time Zone.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll take back all the bad words I said on stream when I was like, fucking sort your shit out, Blizzard. People can't tell what time zones they're rolling on. There you go.
Because they decided just to make it all one time zone.
All right, there you go. No, but see, I honestly, I'm look, it might not have been that many people, but I swear I heard of Americans rolling on the Australian server because they didn't know. They were like, what the fuck is AU?
It's really surprised me at how many there are. So the reason I bring it up is if you're going to be day rating, it might be possible with some US friends.
Oh, I'd love to. Mate, the fucking peak raid for me is honestly, I'd wake up at fucking 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning and just be like, let's go for the next 2 to 3 hours. Fuck yeah.
Well, Josh, you might like Pup because that is what we are doing.
Yeah, but
It's
they
literally
don't
gonna
raid on weekends, do they?
They do. We
They
are.
do?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's literally going to be Saturday morning raids for
Are you
Australia.
serious?
Yeah, I'm dead
Oh,
serious.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What server's Pup on again?
Wild Growth.
But that's PvE. That's a problem.
Yes, it is PvE. Yeah. Josh, you could log in on Shadow Strike when you need your PvP fix. I don't know what to tell you.
That's my secret, Cap. I always need my PvP fix.
You said that in such a demeaning tone. Oh, that's PvE. Oh.
I have that way for PvP servers now, so
Hey,
it's okay.
that's a good segue, guys. Let's start to close this one out. I won't keep you all night. Look, guys, I've been considering bringing back an old favorite to the podcast. We used to do a segment years ago called Anger Management that was a bit of a fan favorite. And I think a lot of people were upset that I stopped screaming at the top of my voice and swearing about, either Reddit posts or things that I'd done in game. And I thought in the spirit of a new game, new season, new WoW, everyone's having a brilliant time, maybe I'd consider, at least for now, and if people write into me and petition for more anger management, we can always, do a bit more of it later down the line. But I would beseech you guys to think of something that has really particularly triggered you over the last week in Season of Discovery. Now, I prefer stories about interactions with other players as opposed to like gripes about the game that we've just been over, like the systems and the spells and whatnot. I want to hear more about the player-to-player interactions and something that drove you up the fucking wall. I'll get us started and you can think of yours while I tell you two of my stories. And look, for people's sanity, I know you loved me screaming and swearing, but I'll try and say it, I'll try and tell the story halfway between composed and manic. I've got two for you. So the first one, and please, if you tell stories, keep the other players' names out of it. I don't want people getting fucking brigaded or anything. So my first story goes out to this fuckwit warrior who I'm leveling my warlock 2 days ago, right? And he's at the Brill Inn, and I'm level 10, and this level 6 warrior wanders up from downstairs at the Brill Inn, and he's brought with him Blueheart. Now, you undead warriors already know who I'm talking about. If you haven't rolled an undead warrior, though, you might not know what the fuck I'm talking about. So basically, it's a rune-related quest. You grab a new NPC from the basement of the Brill Inn, and you need to kill him, right? After an interaction with another NPC. And he's a level 10, and he's not like a pushover. And so this level 6 should not be doing this fucking quest right now, but obviously he's a bit impatient. He wants his rune ASAP. He just wanders upstairs and he's brought this mob with him. And it's, sort of ready to rock and roll. And I think it started hitting me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, Blueheart, rightio. So I see the warrior and I see this NPC and I'm like, oh, okay, he wants his rune. No worries, I'll help him out. So I start to attack this warrior, and about 5 seconds into the fight, I start to attack Blueheart, and 5 seconds into the fucking fight, I look over, and look, I get that hit chance is a thing and everything and whatever, but this warrior is doing nothing. He's not auto-attacking. He's not trying to fight this thing. He's just brought this NPC up for someone to kill for him with no fucking plan of assisting in any capacity. And so Blueheart is not like, I was level 10, he's level 10. He's, like I said, he's not a pushover. I was like, fucking Chaos Bolt, Shadow Bolts, and I was like, oh, fuck, I might have to, like, actually fear this guy because he's going to kill me. So I have to fear him. He's running around the fucking Brill Inn like a chicken with its head cut off. I throw a dot on him. I wait for my Chaos Bolt to come off cooldown to finish him off, and I'm sweating a little bit. And through all of my manic behavior in trying to kill this fucking quest NPC for this other dickhead, he's just still sitting there doing nothing, basically AFK. So eventually Blueheart goes down, and I sit there and look at this guy, and he fucking loots him or does something. He moves immediately as soon as I'm done. First time he's moved in 20 seconds. And fucking got what he got out of it. I'm pretty sure he tagged him. He did something. And fucking, I do the slash nod at him to try and get some form of communication from him. And he does nothing and he just leaves the tavern. So I whisper him, and I'm a dick like this. I do this shit all the time because I'm a fuckwit. I whisper him and go thanks, ? All I want is a thank you. Just you don't even have to say thank you. Just emote me. Do something to say thank you, because that's what most fucking players do. They have a sense of social decorum and they say thanks for killing that mob for me where I didn't fucking help you in the slightest and I got a really powerful rune out of it. I don't know, some shit like that, right? And I never get a reply from the guy. And I don't put people on ignore or any shit like that. I'm just like, you're a fucking piece of shit. And I tell stories like this and people always go oh, mate, what if it was a fucking 6-year-old kid and he didn't know how to fucking interact with you? Fucking whatever, I don't care. He's a piece of shit and fuck him. So that's my first story, all right? And I hope you guys are thinking of good stories.
Piece of shit 6-year-old kid.
I was saying, to be fair, 6-year-olds are pieces of shit.
They fucking are, yeah. All right, so like I said, I hope you're all thinking of your angry stories while I get my second one fired up. Here's my second one in the chamber. All right, so this one is maybe more about me being the piece of shit, which I usually am, but here we go. So fucking, I think I told Hunk this one. Day one of the server. We're going first hour of the game. Actually, first hour and a half, right? So 90 minutes into the game launch, as you all know, layers are finally unleashed. Thank God, sweet relief with the layers. There's not a million players around anymore. I have, moved on to the lovely Solidon farm or whatever with all the pumpkins, and I'm doing my little pumpkin quest as an undead warrior. Yeah, Hunk knows where I'm going with this. So, this fucking dude, there's a warlock sitting near 3 pumpkins in very close proximity to each other. I've not seen the pumpkins grouped up like that before, but they were very close to each other. A warlock starts fighting a mob right near, near the 3 pumpkins. He's not like right on top of them, but he's near them. But he's just started fighting this mob. I've collected about 6 pumpkins already, and I know that they're respawning like a motherfucker. It is no drama doing this fucking quest, and because the layers are now out, there's not that many people around. It's like 2 or 3 of us doing this quest, whatever, maybe 4 or 5, whatever. This guy's just pulled this mob. And I run up and I collect all 3 pumpkins that he was standing in near proximity to. He sees me to, proceed to start to do this. And he starts to try to click on every pumpkin that I'm clicking on while he's got a mob hitting him. And he can't work out that, every time he clicks on a fucking pumpkin, he's getting interrupted by this mob. So rather than electing to simply kill the mob and maybe go for some other pumpkins or whatever, he follows me around, and dead set, I collect 4 or 5. Now I'm not collecting pumpkins far away from him. He's following me around and trying to get all the pumpkins before me with a mob on him. And I'm going, what the fuck is this guy doing? Just kill the mob, mate, and you'll be able to do this quest.
Definitely a little kid that you were bullying in this time.
Oh my god!
And so after I finish, after I shit you not, the 5th pumpkin he tries to snipe from me, but can't because he refuses to kill this mob. He eventually turns around, kills the mob, and then says to me, whispers me, "You're a freak," and I go to reply. I go to reply with the excuse me, why don't you kill the mob? And he's already got me on ignore, right? Straight away.
The ultimate power move.
Oh, don't get me started on ignores. Anyway, and my rant to Hunk was this. I was like, look, there is an argument that I'm the dick in this situation. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound like an angel. I did take a pumpkin near the guy that maybe he thought he was clearing or whatever. But like I said, this quest could have been finished in 3 seconds. They were respawning so quickly. There was no one around. It really wasn't a big deal.
If they're spawning that quickly, you're fine.
You're
man.
fine.
That dude just sounds like he's just a jackass.
But there's a deeper thing here where I'm this is why I don't like people who are quick on the ignore trigger. We're mate, we are 1 fucking hour into the life cycle of this server. I am playing a tank. I plan on tanking a fuckload over the next year on this server. I plan on pugging a lot. I want to make new friends and do content with randos and tank for you.
Is that so you can steal their pumpkins?
Sorry?
Is that so you can steal their
So I can steal all of their pumpkins. And I'm you have just basically shadow banned a potential tank you could group up with to lead you to amazing upgrades in the future, all because of the slightest 1 out of 10 transgressions in the first hour of the server. And I'm just mate, you know what? Probably for the fucking best that I am on your ignore list. Jeez.
I would say, I mean, I've gotten abusive messages before of someone insulting me when I accidentally take something and I didn't realize they were doing it, and I apologize, and by the time I'm apologizing, they already have me on their ignore list, and I'm.
I know
but
mean.
those people when they send me just because I accidentally took one item, they just send me this hate-filled insult, I'm like, all right, you're going on my ignore list then. Like,
I
don't stand for abusive messages. If someone sends me an abusive message, they're instantly on the ignore list.
I should point out, Sneaky makes a good point, and I've been trying to like implement this in the story, Sneaky. I hope I've done a decent enough job where I'm like, there is absolutely a reality where I'm the asshole here. I get that, but I'm more like, did the punishment fit the crime? Like, did me taking these pumpkins warrant this guy blacklisting a tank for the rest of the life cycle of this server after hour 1 on day 1? And I'm like...
You set back his leveling 14 seconds. He's now too late to play SOD, and he has to uninstall. He's too slow behind the curve. You have derailed his entire expansion.
I'm just impressed by how many sort of like mortal enemies Josh can make in the first hour.
This is what I'm stunned by.
No, seriously, you would be shocked how quickly I make mortal enemies in this game. But like, it's more the PvP side of things. I didn't even tell you like my PvP story that I feel like I'm dragging on too long. If I tell you my fuck it, I'll tell it. Then you guys really better have some. You guys really better have some good ones.
Wait. Can I get the story of
what made you his list?
What made you go off in the Discord? Like, I think it was yesterday. Of just all caps, like, how Warriors is dog shit. What happened to you that day?
Well, the story I'm about to tell. The story I'm about to tell weaves into it.
We're billing him for this therapy, right?
Yeah. The story I'm about to tell weaves into a little bit, but it wasn't after this fight that I sent that message. It was more a collective thing because I'd gotten my ass kicked for a few hours in Ashenvale and I was very upset. So this was the one that probably stood out the most was the amount of people that would like chase me down across half the zone. There was this one warlock in particular where like this cunt, I've come up on this cunt's radar like near fucking what's the Alliance town in Ashenvale called again? Astronar, right? So I'm just outside Astronar. This warlock spots me and he's killed me once already. Actually, to be fair, sorry, my bad. We killed each other at the same time. It was one of those we both got the final blow kind of situations. So on the second go round, he spots me near Astronar. And this prick, you know those fights where they just chase you across half the map? And he chases me all the way basically to the Darkshore border, right? Like it was a good like 2-minute run or whatever. And I fucking hate it because you can't misplay one step because I'm obviously at like 31 yard range. And the second I deviate off this straight line run that I'm on, he's going to start to get his dots off. And so we go for like a good 60 seconds where I've run a perfect fucking line. I've got my geometry's on point. My fucking ruler and everything is, I'm doing all the fucking Zach Galifianakis calculations in the head on the fly going, don't step there, don't go near that mob there. He'll get within 30 yard range. Don't do it. And I had to finally run around a building or a tree or something, and he's got the 30-yard range, and he's popped off the dots, and just this cunt would have chased me to the ends of the earth to get this kill, and I'm just like...
Did you get away?
No, he killed me, and I'm like, look, I would have done the same thing, but fuck you nonetheless. I was so upset. Anyway, that's all my anger management. I'm going to turn to you guys now. Who's got a cracker for me?
I got a bit of a PvP one as well, I guess. And it happened last night. I was in Hillsbrad Foothills, over near the farms, just trying to do some quests and make some gold. Wasn't really looking for a fight, and an Alliance Death Squad rolled up. They didn't all come at the same time. There was like 3 of them, but before that, there was a rogue cruising around. And he looked like he wanted to have a fight, so I tried to get him out of stealth and stuff. But he just sat on the sideline. I beat these other 3 dudes up. They come in a bit sporadically, but at the end of it, I've got no mana left, no buttons left to press, very little health, and you can sort of imagine their chest heaving, covered in blood, all full, like I'm pumped, right? I've just had this great fight. I sit down to eat and drink. Ambush noise, dead. It was old mate, the rogue that was there from originally, and he just waited, let his mates die. Just to shank me, eh? Like, he got me so good.
Definitely a rogue player.
What?
Yeah.
You were like, I didn't hear no bell, and then fucking Just get a dagger through the heart.
The fucking amount of times that I have just torn rogues to shreds and, one-on-one straight up, everyone's got 100% health, you and me fucking annihilate them, see them again 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, do it again. Then the amount of times I've seen those players where I'm fighting a mob 20 minutes later, they wait for me to get to 20% health and just rip off that one ambush. I'm like, yep, you're a fucking rogue. You're a rogue. You shit at PvP and all you do is wait for me to fucking get low and then do that.
I think what got me was the female human laugh emote as I was like making my keel over noise. That really just rubbed the salt into the wound.
Fair enough. All right, who wants to go next?
Mine's just a general statement of intent against all hunters. I mentioned it in the Discord. Just let me pick a herb next to you in peace. Don't mark me with your fucking hunter's mark 30 seconds later just to be a prick. It's happened enough times that now,
Jesus.
like, they're questing, they're killing furbolgs, whatever the fuck. I appear out of my stealth to pick a herb next to them, and then I run 20 yards away and they put the hunter's mark on me. Brother, I was leaving. Now you're dead 3 times minimum. That's the tax. 100%. You're dying 3 times for this. The audacity to be this much of a knob. You're dying 3 times. I was leaving in peace. I was letting you kill your furbolgs. You're a knob. Now you pay the tax. That's it. And it's happened enough times that it's just a kill on sight rule now. Like, fuck their questing. Hunters just have to die. They deserve it. The same goes for druids. They're getting a bit too cocky with that fucking movement speed in Ashenvale. Entangling roots in kitty form, using their sunbeam bullshit. They're in the same boat. You can't trust them. They're actually the sod undead rogues. This may sound like propaganda,
I like it.
but they're the sod undead rogues. Don't trust them. Just assume the worst. Do your crimes before they do crimes against you.
Feral cats, the feral druid kitties, the new assholes of classic WoW.
That's my anger management.
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
So many druids. It's crazy how many druids there are.
I was going to say, I haven't had an angry moment outside of not being able to get, to spam click for an escort quest. But I have absolutely loved being a pest as a feral druid, sun-firing people. And only sun-firing them once. And then fucking off. Coming back.
I had a guy follow me. Like, it took him a good probably 90 seconds, I reckon, to just use that one ability from 100% HP to 0. And I died about 10 yards out of the town.
Gutting. All right. Hunk, you're up, mate. Now, look, I've got a funny feeling you're not going to get angry, but I'm gonna force it on you.
Well, there was like a player called let's call them J Corbett. No, that's too obvious. Joshua C. No, look, my interactions, I haven't really had any that have been too frustrating. It's more been bizarre. Like, there were these 2 guys on one of the like the first day who were doing like farming the gnolls in just north of Brill for the quest. I asked them for an invite, no response. And they proceeded to like compete with me for tags for like the next like 4 or 5 spawn. One of them was a warrior, like one of them was a hunter, I think. And I was playing my priest with penance. I got all the tags. But why wouldn't you just invite me? So we can all enjoy the quest together and get it done quicker. I don't know, just bizarre stuff.
Did you then proceed to whisper them and threaten their livelihood, or did you hold off?
No. So I just, well, I'd won.
I'm proud of you.
I won
for your
that exchange. Like, yeah, I haven't had anything too frustrating happen to me though. Like, I'm a pretty good bloke though, so people not really, like you guys seem to be out there just making enemies left and right. So.
No, so I shouldn't joke about so blatantly breaking the social contract, but obviously it's all in jest.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's in jest.
I don't say anything that I think would break the social contract. I honestly don't. It depends. Like, is a genuine nerd argument breaking the social contract?
Nah.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so.
Things can be all in jest, but Discover DN and Gym Seasoning, it's a kill on site contract, and I don't care if you grief me back. Camp me all day, your whole guild is kill on site for me after the atrocities committed outside Whaling Caverns, you dogs.
Atrocities. I love me some atrocities, eh?
Mate, they came in trying to get their 99-year-old port, and they were griefing horde left and right, so that's it. They may have killed me 4 times, but I will kill 400 of their guildies over the next 9 months. I don't care.
What guild?
Discovered DN and Gym Seasoning on Alliance Shadow Strike.
Gym Seasoning,
Oh,
that's so
no.
good.
Well, I didn't say it. I'm not fucking declaring a holy war on a guild.
I invite anyone to screenshot my fucking corpse and send it in the Discord because it's just in jest and it's fun.
I would say I have had none of these experiences because I'm having a lovely time on a PvE server.
Mike, look, I respect the fact that you've moved to PvE, but I mean, I think with the layering they've done and everything, I have zero fucking regrets. I mean, I love World PvP anyway, but I have zero regrets about rolling PvP.
As someone who has had to do a lot of trips to dead mines, if I was on a PvP server, I guarantee you I would have been camped enough that I just would have gotten way too frustrated already.
Ashenvale has been so fun.
BRD PvP. Oh, shuddering.
I enjoyed the time I spent in Ashenvale not even doing the event, just running around and killing people for no reward outside of the small amount of honor you get. I fucking love it. I love it. I'm going to do more of it very soon.
I'm pretty convinced that come the next level band that there's going to be a lot of people that realize when they just can't quest out in the open world because you're just getting killed by death squads. With how many people there are, with all the zones you're sharing to level, it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a wake up call for a lot of people when they can't advance forward in the game without dungeon spamming at that point on a PvP server.
Well, we shall see what is to come. Look, guys, we might wind it up there. Thank you so much for having a bit of fun with me and having a beer with me tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. Just a bit of a casual fun, even though I was super serious for the first hour.
I was gonna say, definitely wasn't casual for the first
I know.
half.
And fucking call me out on that shit. I'm such a fucking dickhead. I'm sorry, guys.
You turned on full podcast.
I
host
know.
mode.
Well, I still had all this stuff I wanted to talk about that I didn't get out of my system in the first call, but
did you cover everything you wanted to touch on?
I think I did. I think I'm good now. I think I've got
Good.
it all. I've got it all out there. I'd say for another week or two until all the talking points come back. But no, guys, yeah, definitely pull me up next time and say, look, dickhead, I'm not going to fucking take part of these calls if you're going to be a cockhead. Let's just have a chill beer or else, and I will get the message.
I farmed my Warsong rep, my supply rep, and now I'll be farming rep with the wife tomorrow morning. So no stress.
Ah, very good, very good. We wish you the best of luck. Mike, what were you going to say?
I got all my tank runes today, ubiquitous.
Oh, nice. I've just I've got the shredder components left to go, but they're very expensive. I literally just paid 10 gold or whatever it is for that fucking Ashenvale mount.
I literally had it's good. I'm gonna have to just dungeon grind to level 30. I've done so many quests just to earn the gold to get my tank runes.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll say our goodbyes. Mike, mate, thank you so much for being here. We shall talk to you soon. Anything to plug? Anything to say before we let you go?
Go watch Alenia on the WoW Variety Show this weekend.
Very good, very good. That's on the official Warcraft Twitch channel. Go check that one out, everyone.
Ooh, very good. What time? Can you give us the time?
Sunday for us, it's Sunday morning, I believe.
For Australians, it'll be Sunday morning.
Yep.
Okay. That'll be Saturday night. Saturday night for the others.
Yes.
Get a GMT or a PDT or an
here we go. Elenia's
AEST.
saying 2 a.m. Sunday Perth time,
So
which would be 11
6 a.m. for us. Or...
Sorry, no, so that'd be 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. for us. Sorry, 4 a.m. for us on Sunday, Hunk. And then that would mean that's about, I want to say 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
Something like
correct.
that. Yeah. Okay. Mate,
Might be a little early, but I'll watch the VOD if I don't make it.
I was gonna say they'll be going for a while, I think. So
Very good, very good. Ubiquitous, mate. Thank you so much. We shall speak to you next time.
Yeah, I'll be lurking always, chatting every day,
Mate.
upsetting people, it seems, in the Discord.
No, you're good, mate. You've been a fucking boon to the Countdown community. I can assure you of that much. Wonder, thank you so much for joining in. First time here.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Thank you so much, mate. Hideous John, mate, it's good to get you on after we ran our dungeon the other day, our brilliant RFC run where we had, you as I think a level 10 and then another level 9, and we carried you guys through there.
And I might say some of the best polymorph gameplay in Classic WoW's history.
Oh, absolutely!
It was toy.
If people haven't seen the highlight package on my YouTube channel of that RFC run, I really like that video. No one's fucking watched it. It'll get fucking 400. Thank you, Mike. It'll get 400 views in its lifetime, and I think it's some of the fucking more fun
Aussie
classic
banter
content
is next
out
level.
there. I agree.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Josh. I'll make a call out. Shout out to me mate Grungnir, the real Grungnir, not the one in our guild.
Okay.
He's just played well with him for a long time, and there's a guy in our guild with the exact same name as his BattleNet name, man. It's just
stolen name.
Yeah, stolen name, and he is just so resentful over it too. It's that guy's the imposter. I thought I'd shout him out. And yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me, man. I'll be back on.
Too easy, mate. Thanks so much. And Wolfhead, last but not least, mate. Can you need to be the one hunk to pull me up on this shit and go, hey, dickhead, we're here to have a fucking beer, not be grilled by a dickhead podcast host. You got to call me out next time.
Oh, no, I like podcast, Josh. That was interesting. It was an interesting chat.
He's got a fucking...
Don't worry.
He's got a 40-foot pole up his ass.
The rod up my butt has a rod up its butt.
Exactly.
No, I missed the one today, so I was totally keen to have a serious chat about SOD. I wasn't able to listen in today. I was busy and at the one, I know how you favor the American audience. I get it.
Oh,
I get it. If I can take a big shit on your own kind,
I mean, to be fair, I think a large majority of his listeners are American.
They are. 50% of the demo is American. So
there we go.
There you go.
It's only 50%.
Yeah.
You take a big shit on us.
I know. No, but thank you, mate. And look, we'll have to have a beer again sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. It's a good time.
All right, boys. I've ended the recording. We're still live on stream, though. Thank you so much, you fucking amazing gentlemen. What is it? It's 10:30 here, 11:30 for you in Sydney, 8:30 for you in Perth. I'm going to go to bed and play Slay the Spire for an hour. So
what a game.
Mate, I'd never played it until Patricia for the last week has been like, I really think you'd like Slay the Spire. You should play Slay the Spire. Sorry. Patricia for the last week has not stopped talking about Slay the Spire. It's just like
He's gone. Can anyone else hear him?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear him.
Hunk?
What? Yeah. It's just me.
It's just you, Hunk.
Can you hear me now, Hunk?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, you were saying
Slay Patricia hasn't stopped talking about Slay the Spire, and she's fallen into the rabbit hole over the last week. And she's like, I really think you'd like this game. You should try it. And I was like, what do you know about me and what games I like? Even though she was spot on.
Dare you?
How dare you suggest not World of Warcraft?
Spot on.
We may be married, but don't think you know me.
I did the if I try it, will that make you happy? And she's like,
will that
yes.
shut you up?
And so I tried it, and then within 30 seconds, I was like, I love this game. And she's like,
it's a great game.
And she was like, yeah, fuck you. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
This sounds like when I try to get Alenia to play card games.
The best part is there's
it.
So many good examples of that, and of games in that genre too. There's so many that you'll like. So
it is a good genre. Slay the Spire is great.
It's the best in the genre, though, I think.
Yeah.
From the ones I played a half a dozen, and that's the best.
Well, I bought it straight away. It's $15 on mobile, I think, and apparently it's $35 on Steam. And I was like, I'll just take the mobile version, thank you.
Yeah, grab the mobile version because it's such a good game to play on mobile too.
Oh, it's brilliant with the stylus. I love it.
I didn't even know they had a mobile version of it. I played it on Steam, and like had a fat time, so I think that's going to be a pickup for me.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I'm going to go get stuck into it now. All right, boys, look, have a good fucking Friday night, and I will see you lads tomorrow in game, I'm sure. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you soon.
Easy.
Too
Speaking
easy.
of,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hassle you for your actual like character names, so I can find you out in the world.
Yeah. Look, do you want me to end the stream, or are you guys happy to say it on stream?
I mean, mine's my name in. I always snatch ubiquitous on every server.
Oh, there you go. That's the way.
I'm easily found.
Well,
Guess
you've already run into me in Wondering.
Yeah.
Well, there's always some version of Wonder in the name.
Yeah, guess Hunk's name.
Well,
Hunk.
I did actually run into a hunk daddy hunter, and I
Oh.
was like, "Is that Hunk?" And maybe it's just one of his fanboys. Maybe from his.
Please
own
tell me that's your old
Mm.
Hunk.
I wish it was, but it is not. It is not.
yeah,
I've got some spicy names, but like that one will be on the list now to grab.
Very
I'm
good.
still the American now living in the land down under, but still playing on the American servers.
Right. No, I actually haven't said. Well, we're not even this. I'm not recording anymore, so this won't be on the podcast. But I will need to tell the podcast at some point if anyone gives a shit. So I mean, obviously, you know, like I don't know if you know Ubiquitous. My warrior is tanks a lot. And
Such cringe name.
literally the name that Hunk suggested. He's like, wouldn't tanks a lot be funny? And I was like, yeah, that is kind of funny. I'll do that.
Taking my
You've got to be
suggestion.
tanked a lot and then
Cringe.
never tank.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite end of cringe, where I have ubiquitous, ubiquitous. I just name all my characters the exact same thing with a little letter difference in the end.
A flourish.
Right.
Yeah.
What I got some good names. My warlock alt is not that my wife would necessarily approve, but my warlock alt is named Nice Crits.
I've seen that one.
And yeah, my shaman alt is
Kind
called.
of inappropriate.
I know, and my shaman alt is called Sweaty Crits. So yeah,
I like that one.
I'm not a mature man, Hunk. You know, I'm
Yeah,
like
and
Forrester.
don't ever
I may
change.
not be a mature man, but I know what toxicity is.
Yeah, because you bring it. You bring the
It
toxicity.
follows you.
Yeah. I think that's about it for characters for me. I can't think of. That's it.
But
yeah.
you've got the 3 and you've named them all already.
Well, yeah. So I've got the warlocks at 13, the shamans at 10 or whatever, I think, and the warriors at 25.
My God. I've just got my one tune, and I'll figure out what to level next.
I mean,
Same.
that's
I'm
the
in the
beauty of
same
it.
boat.
If you're not doing gathering, like, you know, it takes you 3 hours really to fire up a character to level 10 at the most.
I tell you what, the real BIS strat is at level 40. Herbing on a torrent, getting all of the ghost mushies before everybody else.
Good old ghost mushies.
They'll
Alenia,
sell well the whole time.
got
Yeah.
bull shift. There you go.
Yeah, the druid she doesn't play right now, or sorry, barely plays in comparison.
It's so hard to come up with a cow pun that no one's done before.
What do you mean no one's named their Sharma Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah, oh god, if I see another
No one.
Oprah Winfrey, I'm gonna fucking vomit.
Another bow job.
I mean,
Yeah,
I watched Mad Max again recently, so I've been on the Mad Max naming spree.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've got a warrior called Toe
Immortan
Cutter.
Joe. Oh, toe cutter, rightio.
I've got my warlock's called Rude Boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's about where it is at the moment. Of course, my hunter's called Hunkter.
Names are important to me. I love a good WoW name, a good character name.
Alenia likes it. Thank you, Alenia.
Yeah.
The Mad Max does not get enough representation in the WoW naming circles.
Oh, now I want to go watch Beyond Thunderdome.
Just for how good Tina
I
Turner
just want to
looks
hear
in
the
Twilight
song,
Leather, or-
basically. That's it. I just want to, get to
Yeah.
that moment.
I rate Thunderdome. Like, I know like some people thought it was a little disappointing, but I think it's a good watch.
Oh, yeah.
don't like to gas myself up, but I think ubiquitous is okay for a rogue name if you know what the fuck ubiquitous actually means as an English word.
Fair.
I like it too, mate. I think it's
Thematically,
strong and it
I mean,
sends a message.
I know what it means, but why do you just explain to these other guys what it means?
No.
Just go there.
I want to know that
That's the
dictionary
season of discovery right there.
They can get 4 more pings on their website.
Season
I
of
thought
season
it
of
was cool when I first
dictionaries.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I have the simple amusement of naming like alt rogues after just pieces of furniture. So then you could just when I would kill someone on PvP servers and be like, you got killed by a couch.
I think I have matured from when I made a rogue in like original Wrath, and it was named.
Don't say it if it was too spicy for publication.
No, it's peak like 16-year-old cringe. Do it behind.
Oh, I like
it.
it.
In the behind, it just fits with the letters.
I like it.
And I thought that was like so mad when I was 15. I'm like, haha, I backstab people and do it behind.
Well, it's like everyone that does like Stabatha and shit like that. You know what I mean?
That tune's still there on retail. Whatever the hell the level crunchers made him, he's standing there.
Probably like level 30.
Yeah.
All right, you crazy kids. I'm going to go to bed. I'll catch you all tomorrow.
Good night, old man.
Yeah. Hey, it's way past my bedtime. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Rampart Corbett.
Yeah, seriously.
See you stream. Bye.
Someone get his walker.
I'm off too.